favor, spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Seems like the Barry Trotz era is no more. Bino is really fired up. Folks are prepared for that. He's been a lifelong Preds fan since their inception. And Bino, Jeff, Bry, and the world, welcome in. Tony Basilio at your service. Pretty pumped to be with you today. Pretty excited to make your acquaintance, fired up, focused, and prepared. Let's bring it. Let's bring it today. Hey, listen, I come with a spirit today of appreciation. A spirit of appreciation for this place. A spirit of appreciation for this lovely fan base. A spirit of appreciation for the basketball team over the weekend, who represented us well. A spirit of appreciation for Stephen Pearl. A spirit of appreciation for getting a chance to do the Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction, Tennessee basketball overtime after that game the other day. A spirit of appreciation for Will Heflin, who's going to jump in here and do a post game after Tennessee's first game when they play that tournament. Brian, when is that tournament? Happy Monday to you, Brian.
You mean the first game of the season or the first game of the
tournament?
That deal they're going to in Texas.
Yeah, tournament in Texas, not the Crip games.
I think it's the second weekend. It's the weekend after Valentine's Day, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's the second weekend of the season.
Yeah. Spirit of appreciation For everybody involved. I just, my heart is full today. I absolutely loved out loud the game Saturday night. And I was talking to Bino about this yesterday, and Bino, you and I were talking, and C sent me a couple photos that he took, because he couldn't believe it himself, from his seats in the lanyard, with his lanyard on. Danny and the Lanyards. That ought to be sounds like a 60s group. Danny and the Lanyards. Well, there had to have been 17 or 18,000 people in that place. Now, look, I live in a part of the county, and we're all different, but I live in the part of the county here where I can't get off my hill. Like outside of our house right now, I'll paint a picture for you. There are 3 cars that tried to get up our hill, and they're parked like 1, 2, 3 right near our driveway. And one young girl that lives up the hill had to have her dad come get her in his truck with the chains, and so it's just we're easy does it here. But for there to be that many people at that game the other night, first of all, that would have been a good crowd with no snow on the ground, because it was literally 8 degrees when the game ended, and the wind was blowing outside. I mean, the inclement weather aside. And did somebody mention Kristen Clement, the ace? That's not her name anymore, but she's over there at Bradley's. And I'm talking about my friends at Bradley's, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley's in the Basilio show, a Knoxville tradition on February 13 and 14. Bradley's, they're Bradley's chocolate all those years. Now they're Bradley's Gift and Home. Yeah, so many wonderful gifts and ideas for you for Valentine's Day. Check out their website, shopbradleys.com. But my heart is full today. I love that game Saturday night. I love Jacobe Gillespie. By the way, I was supposed to be at the tip-off club today. Jacobe's got practice now, so he can't be there because school's gone online, because the parking is a mess over at UT still. And so, it is what it is. So you got me today, unfortunately. You were going to get Bino and Bry for 2 solid hours, but you got me. It is. And our friends in West Tennessee, like I was talking to Lambrito yesterday, his mom he finally went and got her. They haven't had power being at his mom's place for like 12 days now. Can you imagine?
I cannot, Tony. I cannot.
Can you imagine? There are people in the mid-state. It's like the Hunger Games down there. I mean, what are we doing? But I come here today with a spirit of real appreciation for what we saw from our basketball Vols. And then, conversely, and Bri, I'd like you to elaborate on this, but what we saw from the Lady Vols yesterday. I watched a Lady Vols game, stuck inside. And I was really proud of their effort. Now, they got absolutely obliterated, as Philly likes to say, in the second half. But they played that team toe-to-toe, nose-to-nose, wall-to-wall, till they didn't in the second half. But Bino, Jeff, I thought that was a wonderful, great college basketball game the other night. And I came in totally ready and I want to start here, Beanstar. I came in here totally ready this week to crack on Stephen Pearl after that game, and I felt a sense of appreciation for him Saturday. Well, I don't know what came over me. I thought his team was really well coached, and I thought he did a nice job, Bino. And I thought he was respectable and respectful over there, and I don't know what I'm trying to get at here, but you really made me think Friday. You really made me think Friday, Bino.
Well, Tony, I'm probably the guy that had more to do with a lot of the Stephen Pearl bashing with bringing up something that he did before he was old enough to go into a bar. And I've been coming around, Tony, more and more. I started out this year hoping that he would not win a game because of the way he got the job. But I've been really impressed with the way that he's handled himself. I told you that there at the end of the Florida game when Murphy went in for that ridiculous dunk when he should have just held the ball, and you could tell that Stephen Pearl was just beside himself that they had done that, and kind of tainted a great win, and he was real apologetic to Tad Golden. But I just think he's handled himself great from start to finish, and he was very appreciative and very humble in his comments both before and after the game here. And I just think that we've held the sins of a boy against what's become a man. I was thinking about the things that I didn't like about Stephen Pearl, and I absolutely love Bruce. But most of what I didn't like about Stephen wasn't Stephen's fault. It was Bruce's fault. Stephen was here on scholarship when he probably shouldn't have been playing at this level. That's not Stephen's fault. That's Bruce's fault. Stephen played a little bit more than he should have, especially with Maimon over there in front of Maimon. That wasn't Stephen's fault. That's Bruce's fault. Stephen got this job at Auburn, head coaching job, probably before he paid his dues. That's not Stephen's fault. That's Bruce's fault. And I've held those things against him when they're not his fault. The other two things were something that happened when he was a kid on the strip that made it seem like that he thought he was pretty entitled. And I thought that's the way he would approach this job, but he's been anything but. And the other thing was his commentary on how his dad wasn't properly appreciated or recognized here when he came back. Hey, that's a guy that was still raw about his father getting fired. Who wouldn't be? What son wouldn't kind of hold it against this place that they basically turned their back on and fired a guy that was the best basketball coach they'd had since Ray Mears?
You have a thought on Stephen Pearl? 865-200-5402. I've come around to being his way of thinking on the guy. I'm thinking about retiring the Stephen F. and Pearl moniker. Because why hold it against a guy for what he did when he was 18? And why hold it against a guy because he's related? And why hold it against a guy because his dad has a blind spot for him? And the guy's trying. And I thought he coached pretty good. I thought his team played really hard Saturday night. And I thought he coached pretty well. So now, did everything they do was perfect? No, not really. But it's college basketball. He's getting a pretty good deal out of a roster that's probably punching above their weight right about now. So just want to get that out there. And then I want to talk about us. But before we do that, Brian, I mentioned my appreciation for the Lady Vols yesterday. And I'm going to read Aubrey and Adam says the following. Hang the banner, Tony. We played the Yukon women to a tie at the half and still didn't cover a 29.5-point spread. That's pathetic. Well, Aubrey, the Lady Vols took a 4-point lead against a team that literally has, I'm going to use the term again, obliterated everybody. Lady Vols were the first team all year to lead in the second quarter against that team. They were the first team all year to even stretch that team out and make them feel uncomfortable. After the first 10 minutes of a basketball game, they got down like 13-5 early. I watched the whole game. They got down 13-5. It could have folded. They could have gotten beat 50 yesterday. if they didn't show some resolve, and that's all I'm saying. Now, I don't know what to think about Kim Caldwell because I don't know that you can play the way they play and beat teams that matter in that deal. So I don't know what we're trying to do with the program because we've got a top 5 payroll in the deal, which is true. They spent a lot of money on it. And I don't know that they're getting the results they paid for. I guess that's for Danny White and people that buy the tickets to decide. But I'm just talking about the kids. The kids themselves yesterday, I thought, just kind of ran out of gas. I mean, they couldn't make a shot in the third quarter. And you play a team like that, and you can't match them win for win, and they make those adjustments on you in the second half, they're going to blow you out. That's just the way it is. Brian Hartman, your thought on what we witnessed from the Lady Vols yesterday? Because I think it was a kind of a loss that can give Lady Vols some hope. They could play with some teams.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that they were tied at half, but yet they couldn't come within 20 at that point. I expected the second half to kind of not go their way, but that is pretty emphatic. Gino sort of showed some respect by keeping his main players in the game most of that time. But they're also a team that can get downhill on you, and they can go on these big runs and jump on you. And now also they can give it up just as easily. They can give up that type of run, especially to good teams like UConn. And as we've seen in most of their losses, when they've lost, they have been pretty much obliterated against pretty good teams. So, yeah, I think the second quarter could give you hope if you're a Lady Vol fan.
Yep. That's how I feel. It doesn't always come out in the wash. Like games can get away from you, which that one did, you know. Games can get away from you, right, Bri?
Well, and also you have to keep in mind they had to throw who might have ended up their leading scorer off the team before if they played a game, which
One
they pretty much had to do. So
she's the one. Ruby went to town again and again and again.
And I don't know if she would have made that much of a difference yesterday, but that's something that they might point back on and say, hey, you know, if the season doesn't quite go the way they want, that might be something that they look at. But she won't use that as an excuse.
Hey, Bino, what was the song Ruby went to? What was the old country song about Ruby? Ruby went to town, or Ruby did something.
Don't take your love to town.
Yeah, she took her love to town and apparently beat up some lady pretty good. Well, I don't know if that's what happened. The story is something in North Knoxville. I don't know. Brian, was she a good player with that Ruby Whitehorn? Was she a good player?
She could have ended up being their leading scorer.
What?
So
what?
That's very possible. She could have been their leading scorer. She'd have been one of their top 2 players. Top 2 or 3 players.
What? All right, let's talk about the game Saturday night. Bino, why did I love that game so much? I love that game Saturday night. Such a great college basketball game on a Saturday night. And we had like 17,000 people there. Best fan base in America, bar none. And I'm not sucking up to you, is right here. Our numbers after that game were insane the other night, too. I went upstairs and I said to the lovely, she said, that's more like it tonight. You actually act like we won the game. That was her response to me. So she's coached me up, Bino. She put a foot up my rear end where I needed it.
As they do, Tony, as they do.
But yeah, I love that game, Bino. How about you?
Yeah, I did as well, Tony. I think it's because some wins ring a little louder than others, and I think this was one of them. It was Stephen Pearl's first trip back to town. People wanted to win that game really badly, and we had to do it, missing a piece of our post rotation. We had to do it despite playing long stretches without the catalyst of this basketball team, which is Jacobe Gillespie. Really, really good from the free throw line, which is something that we haven't been all the time. And I think with those things made it, and also the game at one point seemed to be following the exact same pattern of our last home game, which was Kentucky. It looked like a game that there was a possibility we were going to lead the vast majority of the game and maybe not get out of there with a win. This time we were able to finish and spit that bad taste out of our mouth. So I think this was kind of a win and a half to me.
Yeah, it felt like it was my favorite game of the year by far. And it was my favorite game of the year because it had a little bit of everything. You had the snow involved in it, which people will never forget. That whole deal. Our neighbors to the north, the Zacks and E-Towns and people like that, and Allen Ward, they got like a foot of snow there. Those people weren't going anywhere. People in Nashville, thank God, it skipped over them and hit us, which thank God that happened for them. They don't need any more snow. They don't need any more of that. And I like it because it's a total team win. Now, again, I was going to do the Q&A thing with Jacobe Gillespie today, sort of facilitate a piece with him today down there. I will say this about him. I've never seen a guy do more things on a high-level player that does more goofy things on a basketball floor than him. Now, it's a small sample size. We've only seen him for half a year. I didn't really watch him tremendously at Maryland. The things he does really well. For instance, the getting downhill on offense, he drives and finishes around the basket about as well as any guard I've ever seen here in a Tennessee basketball uniform. He has zero fear on the offensive end. His decision-making at times and the things he does, his committing that fourth foul, flying at that shooter, let the guy score. There's 11 and a half minutes left. If you're going to jump at him tepidly. Don't jump into him. And that foul he committed before halftime the other night is just, I don't even know what you call that. But he's a confusing player, man. Because on one hand, he's very good. Like, he's physically a lot better, I think, than Ziegler. Physically, he gives you much more of a chance in March. Because he's a big kid. He's able to match up and score on people and get downhill on people. And, you could see him and Ament playing a two-man game in March, and you couldn't do that with Ziegler. He's just too diminutive. When you played the Houstons of the world, they collapsed and folded him up. And I love ZZ. I mean, he's still on. He's still on the spot for my boy Josh Collins and your Collins Insurance Agency. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is easy. I just want to say the Collins Insurance Agency.
I mean, I love ZZ. This guy, though, has a higher end to him, but he also has, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? He's like, it's like he's flammable or something. Like you're just waiting for him to do the crazy thing. He does kind of crazy things out there. Is that
he's
a
just
fair?
Maddening.
He's what?
Yeah, he's maddening.
Maddening.
He's maddening.
That's a fair word. Maddening.
Because he is so good, and we need him so bad. And we're obviously better, so much better with him on the court than we are off. But
it's wild. And then Bino, Bri, what were the Florida fans chanting at Betty Crocco yesterday, which is one of the greatest things ever?
G-League dropout.
G-League dropout.
He's just mid.
Dropout.
You can see why he's never played in the NBA. Florida has a front court that they got multiple guys that will be in the NBA, and Bediako never will be, most likely.
Betty Crocco.
I saw some Twitter wag today that said that after going 1-2 in college ball, that Bediako is now petitioning to go back to IMG and play high school ball again.
Well, it's like somebody said when it first came up here the other day, a guy called in, he said, look, I was pretty high level, guy from West Tennessee, I was a pretty high level player, whatever I did. He said, I went on and played college ball. He said, I couldn't imagine calling my high school coach up and saying, hey, man, I want to come back. Or even if my high school called me and said, hey, I want you to come back, 2 years later, I'm going to come back and play for you. Yeah, the Gillespie thing is just, this team has a crazy gene about them where you just never know when it's going to rear its head. They're just not, there just doesn't seem to be a ton of basketball IQ with these guys. But, hey, Gillespie is physically really impressive. And have we seen a better driver of the basketball guys in the last 30 years here than him? Finishing at the one, the way he does around the rim?
Maybe Chandler.
Nah, this guy's better than Chandler, bro. G League dropout is what they said to him, bro. What'd you say it was?
G League dropout.
Yeah, G League dropout.
They got outscored 72-26 in the paint by Florida. 72-26.
Kind of like what we did the other night to Georgia with all the offensive rebounds. That's just not serious basketball when you get beat by 50 points in the paint. You know what's crazy about Alabama, though, guys, is how far they went in the tournament last year playing like that. Bino, would you sacrifice playing, if we can make a Final Four, sitting there watching that style of play night in and night out? Would you make that sacrifice, Bino, to go to a Final Four?
Yes. If shooting threes and shooting layups was all we did and we made it to the Final Four, yeah, I would stomach that.
They miss Mark Sears and Matt, the Nelson kid, Grant Nelson. They don't have anybody like that this year.
Eight 865-200-5402. This is a lot of fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. We have a ton to get to. If you want to get hunting in the mix with us, we'd love to hear from you. I say kudos to both our basketball teams over the weekend. I think our Stephen Pearl deserves a debt of gratitude. Do we retire the effing Pearl? I mean, we're a radio family. We can talk about that. Stephen effing Pearl. Do we retire it? Bino, Bino, where are you leaning? I'm becoming like an old softy over here. You really popped me the other day when you talked about how we're holding against him and how he was a coach's kid, and you talked about your days at Oak Ridge and playing for your uncle, and you can't imagine what it would be like playing with your father.
Absolutely not. At a high level Power 5 basketball, in a high level Power 5 basketball program, that would, I can't imagine that. Can't imagine it.
865-200. Again, 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunt in the mix with us on this Monday, we come back. It is the season of love, and I love you with a full heart today on your Basilio show on a Monday.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at pipewrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com.
Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Bradley's and your Tony Basilio show are a Knoxville tradition. And these days, just like Tony B's show has taken off like a rocket ship, so have my friends at Bradley's. Sure, they still have all the delicious chocolate you're used to, like the chocolate-covered popcorn in the assortment boxes. They're now called Bradley's Gift and Home, and they have so much more than chocolate. Bradley's Gift and Home has all kinds of amazing curated gifts, jewelry, candles, and other for her gift items that will keep you from having to go anywhere else. Guys, trust me, as Basilio would say, Bradley's Gift and Home have taken it to the next level. And remember, Bradley's will have freshly dipped chocolate-covered strawberries in milk and white chocolate at both of their locations, 141 North Peters Road and 138 Biddle Farms Boulevard in Farragut next to Tupelo Honey. Strawberries available February 13th and 14th. See you at Bradley's Bradley's Gift and Home. See our website, shopbradleys.com.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
Yours truly, Tony Basilio, fired up, focused, and prepared on a Monday. Jack stacked and packed. Packed, stacked, and jacked. Stacked, packed, and jacked. Jack packed and stacked. Before we go back to the phones, Bino Jeff Henderson has something he wants to get off his chest.
Tony, I was just wondering if others nervous watch this team as frequently as I do. I nervous watch this team worse than any we've had in years. And I don't know, I'm sure it's a combination of just some of the ridiculous passes that we throw.
Yes.
Like Barnes talks about, the fact that we're not a very good closing unit, that nonsense that we had where we couldn't get the dang ball inbounds for several games. Now they fixed it. Well, they were better the other night, but the poor free throw shooting that just keeps teams in games that we probably should be putting them away. But I'm as thankful as I can be. Tennessee's won 3 games in a row.
Yep.
At a part of their schedule, I didn't think there's any way they'd win 3 games
Totally
in
agree.
a row.
Yep.
And they've got their footing back. They look like a team that's going to win 11 or 12 conference games, and I'm thankful for it. And they're coming. They're getting better and better. But I told somebody the other day I'm going to start wearing my mouth guard watching them because I'm about to grind my teeth to to nubs watching this basketball team.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I needed some perspective the other night when we sat here on the post game and made fun of them after a road win. I mean, the Georgia team is totally idiotic. I mean, the first thing we are is we're sports fans, so we're called to this. We enjoy it, and we enjoy seeing it played cleanly. And we've come on here in the past and celebrated the play of both. Like Saturday night, I celebrate the play of both teams. I thought that that was a respectable showing by Auburn. Like you said, Bino, his kids do not talk back. They don't act a fool on the court. They behave, in a certain way, which I appreciate. They really pushed the Vols the other night to dig deep. It was a win that was born from the entire roster. So there's a lot to say about it. But, man, in the middle of that, you got guys out there found three-pointers.
Oh, yeah.
You got guys.
A Barnes staple that this team has perfected.
But you know what? You say it's a Barnes staple. We had a lot of great calls on our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. If you missed that show the other night, I would encourage anybody to go listen to it because there was a lot of great discussion within that program. And the panel brought some interesting inside things up. And I'm working on a few things like this freshman Evans. I think he's going to get an increased role. And I don't think it's going to come where people think it's going to come. I'm going to blog about that tomorrow, but just kind of poking around on the outer edges yesterday. But we'll get into that. But I love that game the other night. I just love that game. And I'm still back to this. We so deserve a Final Four here. So deserve it. So deserve it. And some of you don't understand what I'm talking about. You say, well, why don't you say we deserve a national championship? Why a Final Four? Look, a Final Four in that sport is the line of demarcation between the real and the not so real. That's all. Obviously, I'd like to win a national championship in men's college basketball. Obviously. But a Final Four is like, for the initiated, it's a mythical threshold. How would you describe it, Bino? It's like a line of demarcation. I cannot believe that this program's never done it. I just can't believe it. With the resources we have and the fan base we have and the money in the NIL right now, there's no way that continues for 10 more years. There's just no way, right? There's just too much money here. Right?
I'll never say no way, Tony, but the Final Four is just basketball holy ground. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And, you asked me earlier if I would take a different style of play, getting us watch kind of a crazy style of play to get us there. And I certainly would do that. Now, what I wouldn't trade, Tony, I wouldn't trade with a South Carolina who's made a Final Four, but year in, year out, their basketball program sucks. I'm not making that trade. Never, ever. I'd rather us be good every year and never make it than to make it once and suck for the rest of my lifetime.
Brian, can I get an amen from you?
Yeah, I will say this. I think the Final Four is more of a media creation that was started when they sort of went to a 64-team bracket.
Yep.
Because I don't think it was one of those things that was that line of demarcation prior to that.
Well, the term wasn't coined till like the late 70s or mid 70s, and then it became a thing. Like, I remember being in the Philadelphia area when the University of Pennsylvania did it. 1979, and it was crazy there when they did it. People couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that little Pennsylvania, not giving out scholarships, made a Final Four. Think about how crazy that is. An Ivy League team has done it since we had Ray Mears. I mean, think about that for a second. Think about all the great players we've had down through the years. And now's the time of the year where you start looking at the field and you're going, okay, well, I mean, every year there's like a surprise team that gets there. Guys, Dusty May's team, Bri, how far did they get?
The Florida Atlantic team actually made the Final Four.
Sugar. Did Sister Jean's team only go to the Elite Eight, or did they get to the Final Four?
No, they made the Final Four. They made
God, Barnesy.
Well, Ray Mears, if there had been a 64-team bracket, I think he'd have made the tournament probably every year. And you got to think one of those teams would have broken through had that been the case. But back then, I think only the conference champion made the tournament. It was 16 teams a lot of the years prior to the late 70s.
You know what, though? And this is my thought. Now, Brian is right. It is a media creation in a sense, Bino, because just because you've never done it doesn't mean that we haven't had some wonderful championship teams here down through the years, full of championship players who have given us such wonderful, great moments like Saturday night to celebrate. Saturday night, I am not ashamed to get on here and represent and talk about this fan base and celebrate with this fan base and cry with this fan base. I'm not ashamed of what we're doing in basketball. We're one of the flagship programs in the SEC in the last 10 years by far, if you were to put them on paper. I mean, we don't have the high-end, but 2 consecutive Elite Eights, and Brian's worked on a piece for the blog. Brian, how many teams have gone to 3 consecutive Elite Eights? How many times that happened?
Well, other than Kentucky, only Florida's done it from the SEC. Kentucky's done it a bunch of times. They've had teams that have made more than that many Elite Eights in a row. But they're Kentucky. They're sort of on another level.
Yeah.
But Florida, I think in 12, 13, and 14 with the 3 straight Elite Eights. And Arkansas has never done it. They've been to back-to-back Elite Eights, I think 3 times. But that just shows you how difficult it can be, and that's what Tennessee's trying to do this year. And just making back-to-back Elite Eights is kind of rare.
I'll tell you this about Rick Barnes that I'll say, because Dane Bradshaw talked about this Saturday night. He's got a real soft spot for this Ament guy, and he's coached him differently than I've seen him coach anybody. Doesn't yell at him. Doesn't criticize him in the media. Even when he was in the throes of doing some really kind of playing some bad basketball, he was uplifting him in the post game, saying, hey, this guy's going to be one of the elite players. He'll be the elite player in March by the time we get to the tournament. I got to say, we're like a month away from that. If he continues to come the way he has progressed in the last 3.5 weeks, I'm here to say Rick Barnes is going to be right. Have you thought about that, Bino? Bino, he went high on a kid the other night. We've never seen a guy in a Tennessee uniform do that and try to slam a ball on the weak side. And now, he didn't make the shot, but he's going to start putting balls like that home. He's getting ready. You can see it. He's getting ready to throw it into the explosion gear here. I sense that coming from him.
Yeah, Tony, I've seen aggression out of him that I did not think that I would see his entire freshman year. He's no longer playing tentative. You know, he has nights when he doesn't shoot the basketball well, but he's looking for his shot, and he's not afraid to take it in there either. Like maybe I thought that he was going to be a little timid to do. So, yeah, he's moving in. He's He's moving through that arc that Rick Barnes talked about. Tony, I heard you say the other day that like guys that my age that, apparently you think that I watch games in alumni gym, but they're guys that have watched this for a long, long time, Phil, and people that are unfortunate to be my age, that we've been deprived, and we've been deprived of one thing and one thing only, and that's a Final Four appearance. Well, a Final Four appearance for a national championship in basketball. But I feel like I've been really, really fortunate watching Tennessee basketball, because other than the Dickey era, when he just basically decided, I mean, there's an old football coach saying, I don't care if we're any good in basketball. Basically, that's what he did. Yep. Other than his era, I've seen more good basketball in my lifetime from the University of Tennessee than any SEC fans anywhere, with the exception of Kentucky. I've seen longer stretches of good basketball than any SEC fan could ask for. So I'm really pretty happy. I'd love to win a Final Four, but I'm happy I've seen a whole lot of good basketball while I've been following.
Yeah, it's well put. But it's a shame. It's a shame that you guys have never seen your team up there. Because I just think that whole week leading up to it would be a real kick here. And it would be a real celebration of who we are. 865-200-5402. If you want to get hunting in the mix, and we'd love to hear from you. This team, in a way, is tantalizingly nuts, like Bino said, but they have a really high end. If this Ament guy continues to play, I mean, you could see this team in March. I'm not going to say this because Matt Dixon needs to close his ears. But by the time March comes around, you could see these guys developing a two-man game that's the envy of the deal.
And they could be really underseeded for the talent level if that comes to pass.
That's right. That's right. But we'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Also, I've got to give away some chocolate-covered strawberries for my friends at Bradley's. Stephen F. and Pearl, do we bury the hatchet on the name? Or Hewitt Pruitt says the following: y'all are getting soft toward Pearl, F and Pearl, because we won the game. Let him beat us a few times to see where you stand. Is that what it is, Bino?
No, that's not what it is for me, Tony. I'd begun to soften before we ever played this basketball game. No, that's not what it is for me.
John Doe says the following:
I just think he's a different guy than I thought he would be. I thought he would be an entitled Richard in that position, and he's not. He's not.
Dave, Dave says Gillespie's not as good at Chandler at the rim. JMO. What's JMO mean? JMO.
Just my opinion.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Dave, you're not a takesman. You don't give your opinion very much, Dave. You're subtle. John Doe, a man who puts his name on his comments, John Doe 2799 says, we will never sniff a Final Four with Rick Barnes. His whole career is about winning in the regular season and never able to win in the tournament when it matters. Is that fair to say about a guy that's been to 2 consecutive Elite Eights? And 2 years ago ran into a team that nobody was going to beat, and last year ran into a team nobody was going to beat. except for Florida. Is that a fair thing to say, Bino?
Well, I mean, Tony, he's been to one Final Four. He's coached at two places that you could probably make the Final Four. Maybe you could count Clemson. So I guess that's fair to say he's never going to make the Final Four, but I don't think it's fair to say he never wins when it matters in the tournament. Every damn game in that tournament matters.
Thank you. Hello and welcome into our first call where callers come first. Hi, you're on the air.
Hello, Tony. This is Lukey Dome /
Hey, Lukey Dome.
Lucatalia.
Welcome in, Lukey Dome.
Hey. Well, I thought they played well the other night. I thought they played sloppy in the second half. They were lucky. I thought they was lucky to win the game because of the way they played in the second half, but they were shooting the ball well in the second half, which brought the game home. I'm glad you're listening to your wife for a change. And I thought it was a good game except for the second half because 2 4-point, the guard fouled that guy for 2 4-point plays. Might have brought Auburn over the top there.
Yeah.
That might have brought Auburn back but we started shooting the ball, okay, near the end of the second half, so that brought us home.
A 14-point lead and a 10-point lead are two completely different things at halftime. Look, he was going to make the 3-ball, but when you jump out at him and you give him that extra point, that momentum. And Dane Bradshaw's played a lot of basketball, and he was talking about the interplay there between Barnes and Gillespie, and Barnes is looking at him like, what are you doing? He's literally 35 feet from the basket. He is literally right inside the timeline. Like, what in the world are you doing out there near him? Now, Bino, we talk about us constantly fouling these three-point shooters. It does go hand in hand with the fact that we are one of the better three-point defending teams and have been for years under Barnes.
Yes.
And so you can't have it both ways. We
you're
close
right,
out. We close out, and in the process, you've got to be able to live with it. But it's maddening when it happens, and it happens all the time to us. And it is maddening when it happens, but we're the only team that collapses. But, hey, you got to know when to fall. The dumbest foul is the fourth foul. And people say, well, you know, the shooter there is kicking his leg out on him. You shouldn't be anywhere near him. You've got three fouls on you. There's 11 and a half minutes left in the game. You've got to know the time and the score and the place and what we're doing. I mean, you know, you shouldn't be anywhere near him when you have three fouls like that.
I agree 100%, Tony. And let me talk to Bino a minute. Bino, you know who the Yankees are going to open up with this year?
Yeah, they open up with the Giants.
Exactly.
We're going to keep Tony B's hind end.
Are you going to go up there? You should go up there, but instead of going to Las Vegas, you should go up there, out to San Francisco and watch that game. You got two reasons.
I
got
one reason now, Luke.
Hey, Bino, Tony reached out to me and wanted to know if you wanted tickets for it.
I appreciate that, Tony. I think I will.
Should I tell him yes?
I appreciate it too, Luke. But I'm gonna stick with my own travel plans here. I'll watch that.
No, he said he could get you a couple of those swanky, like right on the field deals. He said, "Ask Bino." Seriously, I meant to say something to you about that. Thank you, Luke.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Hey. Why don't you have this spring about once a week, have a little segment on the Giants, maybe a 10-minute segment once a week on the Giants and see how they're doing.
Luke, let's not and say we did. You're out of here. No. Go work on your dome. 865-200-5402. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, welcome in.
Tony, I want to talk about the men's team a little, but I watched that Lady Vol game. I left you a message.
I'm seriously proud of them.
Back.
Weren't you proud of how they played in that first half?
I sure was. And
yeah,
when you called back, I was talking to Jinxie, who told me today was canceled.
I know, isn't that incredible?
Because I was going to eat with you. I was going to break bread.
Oh, it's sad, man.
But maybe another time. But I took a page from Refaletics Judd and did a charting of the Lady Vols substitution pattern. And I don't know what you'd call it, subalytics, I don't know. But Tony, the line hockey changes, she only really did that in the first quarter, substituting 4 or 5 people at a time. In the second quarter, which we really made our big comeback and got in the game, she only substituted 4 once. The other time, she substituted 3, once, twice, and a whole bunch of ones. Just one girl substituting. So, and the rest of the game, she didn't do the line hockey change that much. So she was kind of, I guess what you would say, getting down to 7 or 8 gals. So I think she is changing. Did you notice that?
Yeah, my problem with them is not so much the substituting, it's the lack of defense and the way they just get attacked defensively. Now, when they made their run in the second quarter, they were defending very hard, which might go hand in hand with the fact that the fact of your Lynn that they in fact were on the floor for a sustained period of time and were able to amass that mojo. Some people are angry with me for praising how they played. Look, I mean, they played a team that blows everybody out this year. That's just destroying the field. They're the only team that walked into a halftime tied with them.
I think
they took the lead.
They play defense to create. They play defense to create turnovers and score on transition more than they play defense to stop you. And if a team gets past there, they don't turn it over, they're going to score most of the time.
Yeah, which is really.
And it looks like they're not good at defense, but I think that's just their style, the way they approach it.
In my mind, Bri, that's being too committed to your bit when that's the case.
Well, we got a lot of athletes, but we don't have a lot of good three-point shooters or mid-range shooters, and if you can't hit a bucket, you're going to get blown out.
Yep.
And that happened, too, in the second half, but I'm proud of them. Make the tournament. UConn's going to kill everybody in the tournament. I hate to say that, but that's just the way they are.
Well, and Big Dog in West Tennessee kind of puts it best. He says, how do you go from being tied at the half to losing by 30? He said, I was on hold midway through the third quarter waiting for the Lady Vols overtime yesterday, but Bino never went to the phones.
Damn, hey, listen, I've got to apologize for that. I didn't answer the bell. I was pretty much heartbroken.
I figured so. Tony, did you hear my part about the Saturday Night Live bit with the character they used to have called Pat?
I did not.
You know the Saturday Night Live character called Pat. Is it a he or is it a she?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
UConn had 3 coaches behind Gino, not that lady that's been there for 40
Chris
years.
Chris Daly.
But they had 3 coaches. I thought it was Saturday Night Live day, and they were pretending to be Pat.
You see, W. Lynn, you these days that's a sensitive subject these days. We come back on the other side. It's hour number 2. You never know what's going to happen around here, but you know it's going to be whack, and it's going to be out there, and hour 2 is on the radio after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
when it's time for a fresh coat of paint. Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's national award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
T to the B back with you, getting drug over there on YouTube by the losers. What else is new? I mean, I love y'all, but y'all are like borderline twidiots. No offense. And we welcome you in. Super Bowl Sunday. Hey, the NFL, I get a kind of a chuckle out of the NFL. I love what the Browns are doing. Did you see, Bri, that Mike Bajakian was hired off the Michigan State coaching roster by the Cleveland Browns to be the quarterback's coach and guru there?
This is the same organization that once interviewed Condoleezza Rice or talked about it for a head coaching position.
I love Jimmy Haslam. Love. You talk about a guy that's pretty good at truck stops and bad at sports. That's your guy. What a horrible organization. Bino, are you buying, selling, or trading this latest hire by the Cleveland Clowns?
I think you always sell, Tony, with that franchise. I got a sale going on all the time, 24/7.
Brian, was Bajakian the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon receiver coach? No. That was a guy that coached under him. Who was the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Is that Charles Kelly, Bri? Who was the guy that did the Crouching Tiger? There was one of those guys that bowed up on
that wear the cleats. That was Kevin Beard, who I think
wanted to fight.
Is coaching at Miami now. I think.
Wow.
He's coaching down there. I think
Kevin Beard bowed up on our boy who's in. Our boy who's in with the 49ers.
He would wear
Ron
cleats.
Jennings, right?
Yeah, he would wear cleats like he was still playing at practice.
Jennings basically told him, "You're getting ready to wear an ass weapon if you keep talking to me like that." Go! Zach Azani, somebody's reminding me. There's a name from the past. All right, so this hour, I got to give some chocolate-covered strawberries away to our friends at Bradley's Gift and Home, a.k.a. Bradley's Chocolate. And old habits die hard. But they've got a new location in beautiful Farragut. And they got 141 North Peters Road, which is a location they've been at for forever. And now they've got another one in Farragut on Biddle Farms Boulevard. So here's the deal. Make me laugh with a staff member of the past in honor of Mike Bajakian. And then let's just goof on a past staff member. Maybe somebody that we've, I don't know. All these people have gotten payoffs and we've made semi-wealthy. Zach Azani. So Matthew Tooten. I'm putting you in the hopper, bro. You're first on the mic. Make me laugh with a past football staff or basketball staff member, and let's just laugh about it today. Let's have some fun. Mike Bajakian. How can Jimmy Haslam with a straight face? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Mike Bajakian was what? Under Butchie Boy. What was Mike Bajakian's role?
He was offensive coordinator, wasn't he?
He was pretty good.
Yeah, I think.
He was pretty good. He had a pretty good game plan down there at A&M, didn't he?
I think he was there 13-14. They brought in
DeBoard after that. The late great Mike DeBoard.
I think 15, so he was there 13 and 14.
Okay, yeah.
And he wasn't awful.
No, he wasn't. He was pretty. Where'd he go from here? Do you remember? Bajakian?
Was that he didn't go to South Florida? Was that the defensive coordinator? I think that was Chanzik that went there, but somebody went to South Florida. I don't think that was Bajakian.
I love all the characters that have come through here. We have a lot to talk about today. So if you want to get in, 865-200-5402. I'll tell you what, I'll open it up to just characters that we've seen over at UT down through the years. If you want to give me some other characters, I want to laugh a little bit. This basketball team right now, as Beanstar said last hour, they've won 3 in a row all of a sudden out of nowhere after that Kentucky loss. And then they suffered a loss. They had 2 Saturday losses in a row, and now they're streaking. And the schedule's getting ready to lighten up and loosen up as we knew it would. They get by Kentucky over the weekend, Brad. They've got a shot to run off some wins here, don't they?
You know, I can just see them winning every game except Kentucky and getting swept by the mid-Kentucky team twice. And that just makes you even madder about what happened down here. Even though if they did that, that'd be great. But
Kentucky
that stretch of Kentucky coming in here winning is just strange.
Gotta end.
It's just strange.
Mm-hmm.
There's no explanation for it.
They were up 17. It's not a bad matchup. They were up 17 points.
Yeah.
Kentucky did the same thing with Arkansas over the weekend, though. They blew that big lead. They had 3 technical fouls called on them in a short amount of time. Well, in the same play. And then a couple more technicals later in the game. That game got ugly, guys.
Yeah, I think there were 6 total technicals called in the game.
Yep.
They had 3 on one trip down the court. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Pretty great.
Kentucky's just not regal under Pope.
Nope.
That would never happen. Their program's regal, but Mark Pope's not regal.
I'll tell you who's regal guy is Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes gets a regal whistle. And he got another one Saturday night. Stephen Pearl and a couple of them was like, you got to be kidding me. A couple of the calls that went against Auburn. And Pearl gets that regal whistle on the road, Bino, which is something you just never see. Or Barnesy, rather. Barnes gets that.
Yeah, no, I think Barnes has got the best whistle of any coach that we've ever had here.
Throtaji thinks 13-5 is on the table now. Is that right, Bri? 13-5 from here?
If they won all the games they're going to be favored in, they'd be 13-5. And the only 2 they wouldn't be favored in is at Rupp and at Nashville.
Be unbelievable, Andy.
This team has a real chance to go 6-3 in the first half of the SEC schedule.
Yep.
No one would have convinced me that was coming. The day I watched Kentucky come here do what they did.
Well, not only that. Not only was the Kentucky game, but it was the way we were very fortunate to beat Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And then you were staring at going to Alabama. You were staring at going to Georgia, which on its face looks pretty complicated or difficult until you consider that neither program's really like. I just can't believe they went to the Final Four last year at Alabama because it's not serious the way they play.
2 years ago.
Or 2 years ago. It's not serious. It's not a serious style of basketball. And the guy at Georgia, I have no idea what the guy at Georgia's doing.
This run of teams, the programs that keep making their first Final Four before the Vols do, has got to end.
Orange Throat Today writes, and Bino, I want you to talk about the people dragging me on YouTube the other day, which I found pretty repulsive. Bino was mentioning that during a timeout. But Throat writes the following. Bino, you tell me if you're buying, selling, or trading this. Is the College Sports Commission growing some enforcement teeth, he asks. News broke last week LSU is facing an inquiry of an unspecified nature. All NIL deals are supposed to be submitted to the CSC for approval, but there's strong suspicion that the biggest spenders in the transfer market aren't complying fully with that. Bino, are you buying, selling, or trading that the CSC, College Sports Commission, is getting ready to, shall we say, grow some hair, grow some teeth, and scratch back on some people? Because there's speculation at LSU, the speculation at LSU against that backdrop, that this could be due to some other sports and not what Lane Kiffin's doing. But they could be picking on some minor sports, which would be quite comical. But go ahead, Bino.
I'm buying that they're going to try to get back in the enforcement game, Tony. I'm not buying that they're going to win. Ultimately, they're going to lose, as you've said, because no one's going to give the money back, and they're going to court to keep it.
Yeah, it's kind of a comical thing. I mean, to stop and think about it.
And if the NCAA doesn't win this Bediaco case that's coming up,
yep,
there are never. Let me go Phil on you here. NEVER going to win a court case.
The other thing up for grabs is, do you believe that we should retire the Stephen F. and Pearl name in light of the developments of the weekend? I mean, Pearl was kind of likable Saturday. Now, I had a couple people email me and they said, Tony, I heard your comments post-game. I heard your post-game comments and you're going soft, blah, blah. And, he was really cussing at the referees. I said, oh, you're kidding. A sitting basketball coach using foul language toward officials? I like what the assistant on Stephen Pearl's staff told Dane Bradshaw. Bradshaw said, I was talking to him. He said, that's not the Rick Barnes I played for. He said, the Rick Barnes I played for was like Richard Pryor. And now he's Nate Bargatze. He's over there working clean. That's a great line. That's a great line. He said the guy I played for had an absolute potty mouth. Do you hold Stephen Pearl's language against him, Bino, during games? I mean, that doesn't surprise me that college basketball coach uses salty language with officials.
No, I do not, Tony.
I say that's probably the norm in that sport, wouldn't it be? I'd say that's probably the norm.
Yeah. I'd say anyone that doesn't is the oddity there.
As in, like, what the F kind of call is that? Like, what the F are you doing, ref? What are you doing?
Josh Pastner didn't, but he got fired multiple places.
I love Josh Pastner. Love him, love him, love him. So our lines are wide open. If you want to get in, we're not doing the 10th Avenue freeze out on callers. But if you want to get in the mix and in the hunt with it, I'm looking for some down through the years characters here. Make me laugh. The person that makes me laugh the most or makes us laugh the most, we'll vote you to the top, and we'll give you the chocolate-covered strawberries that are available on the 13th and 14th. You'll go on our list. We make our list. We check it twice. And while you're there at Bradley's Gift and Home, you'll find some other great stuff as well. 865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us today on the show. The Bediako thing's interesting. What's even more interesting is now there's a guy that played in the NBA who's expressing interest about coming back to college. And guess what's going to happen with him, Bino? Guess what he's going to be allowed to do? He's going to come back to college. How are they going to stop these guys? If they have eligibility, how are they going to stop them? Here's another little monkey wrench in this thing we haven't talked about. I was talking to somebody the other day. They said, Tony, you're assuming that these players want to collectively bargain. The window for that, I haven't really thought about this, but the window for that may have passed. Consider for a second here. At the end of all this, when we say, well, put some guardrails on it, the NCAA may say to the players, hey, we're ready to sit down and talk with you and give you rights. And the players may say to the NCAA, I'm sorry, but we're not interested in that. We get free agency every single year. And in basketball, we get to go try the professional level here on our continent, and we get to bounce back if it doesn't work out for us professionally. Why in the world would we want to put guardrails in here and cooperate with you? And that is an interesting thing that was shared with me by somebody on Friday afternoon. They said, they said, Tony, you're a pretty smart guy. You've always dealt from the standpoint that the players would just walk up and belly up to the bar and say, yeah, that's right, we'll surrender. Why would they? They're making so much money right now. And as you've seen, these billionaire boosters cannot behave themselves, will not behave themselves, do not behave themselves. Though they have zero equity in these programs, they're making these kids multimillionaires. They're kissing their tails. The fund for quarterbacks and the high-end guys just keeps going up, 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 up. Bino, when you stop and think of that, and you were a union guy, right, over at Oak Ridge, you guys wouldn't have surrendered your rights under and come under a contract if it was going that well for you guys. It's a very interesting point that was brought up to me.
Yeah, it's awfully thought-provoking, Tony. No, I don't think anyone that has everything going in their way wants to unionize. Those who want to unionize are those who are being taken advantage of, not those who have all the advantages.
And so I was told, Tony, that's foolish talk. The opportunity for the NCAA to do that has passed. Once the Supreme Court, and it was a Supreme Court, that threw open the doors roughly 4 years ago with that ruling which occurred in the early summer. And I remember coming on the air that day and saying it's over for college sports. I'm not so sure it isn't over for college sports. I'm not so sure we're not stuck with anarchy. I'm not so sure you could sit everybody in a room and say, okay, how are we going to make this work for everybody? How would you possibly put the toothpaste back? None of us want to hear this. I didn't want to hear it Friday. I thought, you might be right. And you know what? We might be stuck. And you know what? Anarchy might be here to stay. I do feel pretty confident in this. If this commission, if they tell a couple of athletes that have representation, that have the means, and have agency behind them, now they might be able to pick on some low-level kids and say, hey, it may be one of the historically black schools, or maybe because they do like to punch down. That's been the NCAA's MO for a generation. The old joke about UNLV's cheating, let's go after Cleveland State. back in the old days. When you stop and think about this for a second, we've always operated like it's a foregone conclusion that these players are just going to go, hey, you know what? Yeah, Danny White and you guys in the ivory tower. And Danny's one of them that says we need to do this. But to Danny White, I would ask, how are we going to do that, Danny? Because I've never even considered it. Why would the players are controlling the deal. Players have more control than the head coaches do. Players have more control than the presidents do. Players have way too much control today. They have so much control that it's completely out of control. And it's the only league of its sort. It's the only entity that I can think of, Bino, where this exists, right? It's totally out of control. Has no form to it. Makes no sense.
Tony, if indeed a ruling is made where you can play at the highest level of professional sports and come back to college, then just, shut it down. It's just the only salvation you could find there would be if, I think it was Byron Williams that made the suggestion that every year you're gone from college is a year of eligibility lost, to where, somebody can't leave and after their sophomore year and come back 5 years later and still have 2 years to play. That may be the tipping point for me if that occurs.
I just don't, and maybe I missed something. I enjoy sports. I love them. Love them. Absolutely love sport. It is just fascinating to me. Always will be. I can't understand what's in it for somebody to spend millions and millions of dollars on something they don't have equity in. I understand like going and owning like a, John Staley told me one time, you want to know how to make $1 million? I said, yeah, John, tell me how. He said, go own a minor league hockey team and start with 3. He said, you'll make $1 million. And I went, oh, okay. Look, if you want to own a hockey team and, walk around to games and be the owner and lose $1 million because you got the money to lose it and you got FU money, I get that. Spending $4 million on Nate Ament and writing the check for it? I'm sorry, I don't understand that. How long does this continue? I don't know. I don't understand it. For the life of me. But let's go to the phones. And I don't know that this ends. After my conversation Friday, I don't know that this ends. And this College Sport Commission thing doesn't have long to live. It just doesn't. There's nothing legal about if they say to somebody, because look, I'm a reseller, okay? I go to, when it's decent outside, a flea market, or go look at somebody's private collection of whatever and say, hey, can I, and Bino knows I kind of deal in junk, and I have a garage full of it to prove it to you. And I also sell online. I like it. It's something I enjoy. It gets me out of this headspace. It's kind of busy work for me. And we ship things all over the world. And it's just another way to just kind of, it's like a hobby, really. I'm not getting rich or anything from it, but I enjoy it. And it just gets me out of it helps me clear my head. We have a saying in the junk game. And Junkman Ike knows this, who's listening to us right now. And this is where the College Sports Commission, where they're all wet. They're going to say, well, you can't pay XYZ for this linebacker because that's not what that linebacker's worth. Who determines that? Who determines that? Who determines what your marketability is? You're only worth anything in this world is only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. Oh, I mean, that is a restriction, a free market restriction that the Supreme Court's already spoken about with college sports. All they've done is neatly package it here and made it look like, oh yeah, just so our fans will know, we've got this thing under control. No, they don't. Thrody wrote today that if you want to put a competitive football team on the field, you're spending north of $30 million. Now, somebody tell me, how are you spending north of 30 for a competitive team? How are you spending north of $30 million when you're telling the fan, that it's really confusing, that you have $21 million in revenue share that you're cutting up for all these sports teams, and football gets 75% of it on most of these SEC campuses? That's roughly like $14 million. How are you spending north of $31 million? And what commission is going to come to whomever? Like, you know, I find something at a flea market or whatever, okay? And this person just wants to get rid of it, and I take a gamble on it and say, okay, I mean, when you do the junk thing, Bino's been to the swap meets. You're gonna hit sometimes, you're gonna miss sometimes, you're gonna go in the middle sometimes. Sometimes, you know, you buy something and you go, what the hell am I doing here? Like when you buy a linebacker that can't play. That's what they're doing. You know, it's like, oh man, we made a mistake here. But something's only worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for. If a booster is willing to give a kid $4 million to come play basketball, who is the College Sports Commission to say that that's not market value? That is absolutely market value. Am I wrong, Beanstar, about that?
No, absolutely not. I think we've seen, Tony, that it's not going to stand.
And I love my junk, by the way. It clears my head. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Zach in E-Town. What's up, man?
Hey, Zach. Welcome in. You still snowed in?
Yeah. Actually,
Brutal.
I'm working from home today, so
Brutal, dude. Brutal.
I like the show. I like the Lady Vols breakdown. I also junk and sell. I sell records and stuff on eBay.
There you go. It's fun, isn't it?
It's great. And it's funny because, like what you said, you know, I found the Miles Davis pressing of a first pressing of Kind of Blue at a bookshop one time.
Nice.
They sold it to me for 1959. They sold it to me for $5. I turned around and sold it on eBay for $700, and I regret that now because I wish I could have it back. But so yeah, I mean,
and you do that one time, Zach, and it gets burned in your brain, and you chase that high for the rest of your life, man. Right? High of selling something like that, man. It's a natural high, and it's just fun to go find things. I love stuff. I like thinking about, like Laura and I sold a book from like the late 1800s the other day to somebody.
Wow.
Like an old spiritual, like an old I got out of somebody's personal collection, and I thought, man, imagine all the people that own this or were impacted by this book, and it had writing in it, and it had like a little like to whomever, and it's just fascinating stuff. But that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to say, hey, you guys weren't allowed to pay McCoy $1 million last year, and he played and didn't get hurt. Well, of course they're allowed to do that. That's what they deemed he was worth.
Right. And you know, the only solution, like you said, and Bino, you said it too, and everyone, it's going to just have, and I don't know if it'll ever come to that, but you know, it's just a collective bargaining with some guidelines and some, you know, road rules, because it's just too randomized, and there's no standard.
But you know what? It'd be like putting standards on us. That's the analogy. Do you want standard? Like when you and I are out there fishing for stuff? Do we want standards on us? Do we want to be? I don't want anybody govern where I can go, who I can talk to, what I can acquire or not. And that's kind of what we're talking about here, if you think about it, because at the end of the day, these kids are not going to be put under an umbrella. There's no incentive. My eyes Friday. There's no incentive for them to ever sign up for a. I've always thought when the colleges are ready, the kids will sit at the table. No, they're not. The kids, I don't think they're going to sit at the table. Why would you?
I guess not. I mean, I guess I thought maybe that would be the way to achieve, going to a pro style where when you come out of college, you get drafted and you get paid. Or if you're a Major League Baseball player and the Dodgers are setting the market for a price of a player, and now the Braves have to worry about paying their Acuna the price that Tucker just got paid. I mean, it seems like there's got to be an eventual landing spot for prices. I was hoping I could take like one liberty, Tony, and yesterday was a great sports day. Actually, the 40 hours of Saturday night and yesterday with the Lady Vols, our amazing win. I love that y'all talked about the Lady Vols because there was so much to digest. And then I don't know if you watched, just you can give me like 30 seconds, if you watched that Stadium Series hockey.
One of the greatest sports spectacles ever. When those two goalies fought, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Tony, that was like that guy, our goaltender, Vasilevsky, he's been in there since he was 18. You know him, because I know you know hockey. That was his first fight. And I don't know, how do those goalies signal to each other to fight?
Let's go.
I mean, but how do they
when Vasilevsky skated, well, when he saw the kid from Boston whose name escapes me right now, when he saw him give a two-hander and slash that guy, because he was frustrated because it wasn't going the Bruins' way, but the traffic around the Bruins' goal, he two-handed one of your forwards and knocked him to the ground, and that's when all hell broke loose. For those that missed the video, and basically Vasilevsky, who's a veteran player, who's been a mainstay in Tampa just for this great run they've had, skates all the way out to center ice, rips his mask off and says, "Let's go. Let's go," man. And they went. And
Vasilevsky, man, he threw
Swayman is the guy. Yeah, it was Swayman. That's right.
Swayman, yes. And the Bolts came back from a 5-1. I know they had some power plays, but that was just an amazing. It went from a boring to an amazing hockey game. But I appreciate you for letting me talk about that. I know you love hockey. I wish we could talk about it more, but it was just it was a great spectacle there at the end for the last 30 minutes of that game. And anyway, you guys have a good Monday, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
I've often said if the NHL was smart, they would lean into a little bit of the of what made hockey great in the 70s and 80s and let the guys fight a little bit. There's too much stick swinging in the game now because the guys don't fight like they once did. There's too much high sticking and guys using their sticks on each other. By the way, Barry Trotz today fired in Nashville. Barry Trotz, a guy that just could not get a neck up on the competition, Bino.
Yeah, Tony, we talked during one of the breaks.
Yeah.
I think it's probably good to rid yourself of a GM or whatever he was that's name is slang for diarrhea. That's probably not the guy you want to use.
At lunchtime, no less. I mean, let's go. It's lunchtime somewhere, Bino. But yeah, Barry the Trotz. If you brought back crazy 70s NHL and put it out there now, it would be one of the biggest sports going. That game I grew up on had so much character. Of course, it was way dangerous. The guys are too big, too fast now. They would concuss each other, but Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz is one of those guys, Bino, and we know him. We've seen him here. Their neck, it looks like when they were assembled, their neck just got fastened and pushed down really hard by God.
Yeah, we were talking about Walt No-Neck Williams that used to play with the Chicago White Sox.
Yep.
It just sits right on your shoulders.
Yes.
And then there's guys like Manning that has like 3 people's necks.
And Manning looks like a giraffe. Yep. 865-200-5402. The thing that Barry Trotz did, not to bore anybody, but the Preds should have torn their deal down and rebuilt, and they gambled on all these old guys. And in that sport, there's only one way to go, and you got to rip it to the studs. And the Flyers won't do it either, and it's starting to urinate me off. So you got to be honest with what you are in that sport and gamble and get lucky and get a couple superstars so you can build and win a cup. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
What's up, Tony? Grant in Birmingham. How are you?
Hey, Grant. Welcome in.
Just was going to give you a couple thoughts on the crazy coaching characters. You got me to call in.
Yeah. Give me a couple. Give me a couple here, Grant.
Well, I'll say one thing really quick on the big picture stuff you were talking about.
Yeah.
The first one in a long time I've heard bring that up, and I've been thinking the same here a couple of years. What incentive do these players have to actively bargain? And you hear. And I mean, I get that does seem like a potential solution, and I hear Danny White talking about it and a lot of others, and like, I get that might be a way to do it, but why would these football and basketball players, what incentive do they have to collectively bargain? I mean, this system is unbelievable for them, especially as long as you keep the transfers whenever you want. Again, if they could figure out a way to do it, that would be great, but, if you're Nate or his representation, why do you want to cap? You're making $1 million this year. You're making $4 million from Tennessee.
Look at the Gillespie kid.
I'm not trying to call anybody out. I love Nate Ament. That's just an example.
Well, how about this? How about Gillespie?
Why?
Gillespie's a better example. You go from Belmont to Maryland, who makes you rich, okay? Then you go from Maryland to Tennessee, who makes you more rich. And if he wanted, he could have gotten more money than he got out of us if he would have held us up. He's a great example of the system.
Yeah. Yeah. And these quarterbacks right now, Sam Levitt, he's making $6 million at LSU after, I don't know what, he was a low 4-star kid, I think, from Oregon who went to Arizona State. Again, you can literally pick and choose any of these guys, but or even you take your regular interior lineman in the SEC. Yep. Again, I'm not going to pick any individual kid, but, we got some okay offensive guards on our team. Not great.
Yep.
I'm sure, I don't know the number. You could probably figure it out, but I'm sure they're all making. The starters are making almost $1 million, probably between $600,000 and $800,000. Probably my guess for your linemen. You're telling me that they're going to want to come in here and cap that? Why would they want to collectively?
Sam
bargain?
said, "I guarantee you get to the bottom 51% of college players to collective bargain for minimums for all players and limit the cap for top players." Sam, I disagree with you. I think it's too good for too many, and I don't know that you could get to 51%. I disagragree with that.
Yeah, maybe do the softball players want to do it? And even that, I would say, what's Carolyn Pickens?
They're making big money. No,
she's making 50 times what the other players are making. I don't know what she makes, and I'm sure it's not comparable to Jacobe Gillespie, but I'm sure she's making good money to come back and play 4 years at UT. As she should. She's a stud.
I'll tell you who's making a killing are these women's basketball players across the board at these high-level Division I programs. They're not going to go for it. No way.
Right.
They're making way more money. Exactly. Way more money than the pros make now.
Maybe, tennis, track and field, golf, but I'm sure you can find exception to the golf thing. But maybe those bottom 4 or 5 when it comes to interest would all get on board, but I just don't. Anyway, I'm not smart enough to know. Maybe there's some workaround and there's a way to do it, but I just think everybody just screaming collectively bargain, until I think y'all said earlier, until the rich people decide to rein in. That's the only real solution.
Way.
And I don't know. We'll see. You're and I think some will. You have schools like Rutgers are losing money, and I think some will. But we all love to win. Even people have a lot of money. They want to see their school win, and I just think maybe at some point you hit that, and I hope they do. But like, I don't know. It seems to be a high that everybody's chasing, and we'll see. But anyway, that's people that are a lot smarter than me to figure out. But like I said, I'm with you, and I'm glad you said it because I've heard no one else say it. It's just like I don't see a reason for anybody currently to want to bargain on the players' side. Anyway, going to couple coaches. I have two.
Go ahead, Bino. Go ahead, Bean.
I think the only possibility is what Sam threw out there, is if we're mistaken on the percentage of players that are making big money. If we're mistaken and it's closer to 65-35 that aren't, then you've got an opportunity. But I don't know. I
guess it depends on if you're looking at it like, Dino, if you're looking at it big, if you're including the SoCon, I'm a Stanford grad here. Yeah, nobody at Stanford's making that money.
But here's the problem.
But again, it's a different environment. That's right. Stanford and Alabama.
I'm talking about our roster. I'm not talking about that, Grant. I'm talking about the percentage on Power 5 rosters.
Yeah, gotcha. Then no, maybe you're all right. I mean, maybe it's that I would be surprised. It seems like they're all doing really well, at least a lot better than people thought it would be. But again, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, coaches really quick. I think there's two that I thought of off the cuff that just still make me laugh to this day.
Yep.
And the first one I'm sure is going to be a common one. Brady Hoke. Who can ever forget the 2017, the interim coach, the firing or kicking Juwan Jennings off the team, that whole Hurricane game against LSU, taking the ball, start the second half in the middle of the Hurricane.
Cantori game. That is insane.
Really one of the funniest moments. You could laugh about it because we were so bad that year, but I'll never forget them Tennessee electing to take that kickoff to start the second half.
Oh my gosh!
When the kick returners literally couldn't see the ball. I think it was Marquez Callaway, poor guy. They sent him back there and he couldn't see the ball.
A buddy of mine was on the line crew, and one of the officials walked over to him and said, "Coach, now you can defer this." He said, "No, we want the ball." And then the official on the field said to him, he said, "Well, the other thing is that we can hold this for about 30 seconds if you want. Is wait for the cell to get through here." He said, "No, kick it. We want to play. Let's go." And he's also the guy that used to text in all capital letters. Like he was all in all the time. Old Brady Hoke was.
That's just to me an all timer. And the other, I think that. I feel like the whole 2020, that whole season, that whole year was just such a bizarre blur between the making, were they going to play, were they not, and then we played, and the whole Pruitt experience. But I think something that really kind of gets forgotten, that I don't know why this came to me when you started talking about this, and this is really more on Jeremy Pruitt, to be fair. But who never forget, I think this is this guy's name. I'm going to correct me. I think his name was Jimmy Lindsey, the defensive line coach that we hired, that Jeremy Pruitt hired before that season. It was Tracy Rocker had been the D-line coach his first 2 years, and Rocker left or something in the offseason. So Jeremy hires a new defensive line coach. Well, Jeremy Pruitt, in that infamous Kentucky game that Jarrett Garantano threw, 6 pick sixes this season, he fired Jimmy. I think he fired him at halftime.
Jimmy Brumbaugh.
Brumbaugh, that's right.
Jimmy Brumbaugh. Yep.
Jimmy. Yes. Thank you, Tony. He 3.5 games into the season. I do remember he got a 2-year contract.
Yes.
Jeremy Pruitt, in all his wisdom, fired him at halftime, and they announced it the next Monday. And then Jeremy Pruitt, our head coach, coached defensive line the rest of the season when he had him on a 2-year contract, and we fired him 3. I've never heard of firing an assistant coach in the first year of a 2-year deal, three games into the season. But anyway, that's just one to mind. Jeremy Pruitt. There's probably a lot of. We could do Jeremy Pruitt.
I love Pruitt. I love Pruitt. Thank you.
For years, but again, I feel like that's one thing that gets forgotten, just because that season was so bizarre.
Yep.
But yeah,
Grant, you're the leader.
You're
the leader in the clubhouse. I'm going to give your brother your chocolate-covered strawberries if you win, because you can't come up from Birmingham. I'm not going to let you do that.
That sounds good. Yes.
Thank you, brother.
Please give it to him. All right, love y'all.
You're a good man. 865-200-5402. That's a great call. That's funny. Lieutenant Mark from Colombo says, I want my $1.99 super chat back. That guy just stole my bit. Wow. We've got caller on caller crime going on here. I've got time for that, by the way. 865-200-5402 is the numero do. And I do agree that was a great 40 hours of sports we just enjoyed. And I want to shout out my friends at VIP Play because that Lady Vol bet yesterday, Bri, looked good as gold, didn't it? 29.5 points, Bri. That looked, in the first half, Bri, would you have not been going up to the cage and cashing your ticket? There's no way.
Well, I'd say if there was a first half line on it, that would have been gold. But if you played the whole game, that's an awful beat.
I'll say this. Tonight, full card, all kinds of stuff going on. And my friends at VIP Play, great way to play. Tomorrow night, the Vols will go off against Ole Miss. Projected line around 11. Ought to be a lot of fun. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code TN Tony. Believe that. Believe. Mark it down. Write it down. 200 leagues live always. Numerous bet types, props, options. Always something going on. Olympics coming online. Soon it will be time for some curling. They will have you covered every step of the way with this Olympiad coming up over in Milan. Milan, me lady. Milan. VIP Play where everybody gets treated like a VIP. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. We come back on the other side. We get some more calls in. It happens. And we will do some overtime as well after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy, That's you.
Wow, I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Fire that thing up, focus that thing, and prepare that thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the great William Pattison on the way next.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
And before we get to our overtime segment, Bino was so wordy. Bino was so wordy. We gotta take care of a few more messages. Bino, you gotta quit being so wordy, man.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest. Finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
Bradley's and your Tony Basilio show are a Knoxville tradition. And these days, just like Tony B's show has taken off like a rocket ship, so have my friends at Bradley's. Sure, they still have all the delicious chocolate you're used to, like the chocolate-covered popcorn in the assortment boxes. They're now called Bradley's Gift and Home, and they have so much more than chocolate. Bradley's Gift and Home has all kinds of amazing curated gifts, jewelry, candles, and other for her gift items that will keep you from having to go anywhere else. Guys, trust me, as Basilio would say, Bradley's Gift and Home have taken it to the next level. And remember, Bradley's will have freshly dipped chocolate-covered strawberries in milk and white chocolate at both of their locations, 141 North Beaters Road and 138 Biddle Farms Boulevard in Farragut next to Tupelo Honey. Strawberries available February 13th and 14th. See you at Bradley's Bradley's Gift and Home. See our website, shopbradleys.com.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402 as we welcome you back. During the timeout there, my brief interlude, I was strumming one of my favorite Hall & Oates songs, Sarah Smile. That thing's got that's a beautiful song. And we're back with you on the one, the only, making it happen with you. And man, it is just, this weather just will not let go. Will not let go. What's the forecast later this week, guys? Brian, when's it warming up? You're my weatherman here.
If you can hold on for the middle of next week, about 9 days or so, I spy 60 in the forecast.
How about when's it going to get to 40 so I can go walk in the park?
Wednesday.
It's going to improve over the next couple days.
Nice, okay. Because I'm going to be like a basket case.
I hear you.
And I don't know how these people are doing it. Well, they're not. The people without power. And I saw that in certain parts of Nashville, they're saying it's going to be like past Valentine's Day. I mean, Bino, could we have survived like 150 years ago before electricity? Could you have done it?
Sheena and I were having this discussion earlier this morning, and I told her, if I'd lived back then, I would have either been drunk, an outlaw, a card shark, something, because ain't no way I could have worked the way those folks had to work.
No way.
It'd be comfortable.
No. No way. And if those people could come back and see us, they'd say, buddy, I trucked to school. I walked 5 miles in the snow, and they weren't kidding. Now, like when our parents said it to us, they were kidding. And when I said it to my kids, I was kidding. But let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. So, let's get our next call. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Holly, welcome in.
Well, I just want you to know that I am still not able to get out of my driveway. However, we have a high today at 3 o'clock of supposedly 45 degrees. So we're going to get out there when it starts melting and start scraping and getting a pathway to the road. And so, it's getting warmer, so things are getting better. And but there's still a lot of people, especially, as you said, in Nashville and then in Perry County and Hickman County and all those little counties south and west of Nashville that they're in a mess, and they're going to be in a mess for a long time.
So sad.
So
sad.
But anyway, I wanted to circle around. I have something that I want to share about the money that's being thrown around, especially to football.
Yep, hit it.
I keep thinking about this because I just can't wrap my hands around any of it. And so here's what I want to say. I was looking up stuff a while back when we were all talking about all the different billionaires, that support the different teams. And so I was looking up the difference between $1 million and $1 billion. Okay, so we know lots of people now, when they add up all their assets and their homes and maybe their 401ks and this, that, and the other, there's a lot of people out there that might have $1 million worth of assets, but now they're not going to be giving big bucks to the University of Tennessee. They might be giving money, but they're not giving mega money. So I thought, what's the difference between the millionaires and the billionaires? Because when it gets up into the billionaire level, I just can't even fathom. Well, here's the deal. This is the analogy. I looked it up, and 1 million seconds is equal to 12 days. But 1 billion seconds is equal to 32 years. So I don't know if that speaks to you. It did to me, because that's the catastrophic difference once you become a billionaire. And once you become a billionaire,
wow,
you have so much monopoly money. It is unbelievable.
Say that again. When you're 1 million days.
No, 1 million. Look at it with this analogy. 1 million seconds equals 12 days.
12 days, okay.
But 1 billion seconds equals 32 years. That's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire.
That's crazy.
So I kept thinking about that. Okay, because, I can't fathom that. So I had to break it down like this. I was sitting there, okay, so that's a different mindset. Their mindset on wealth versus spending is so just out of the universe by what most people think. And they have such greater freedom and ability to do crazy risk and just mad money and play. And so they can be disruptive and not worry about it. And so if you're a billionaire like a Mark Cuban or a Mr. Haslam or all these folks that are multi-billionaires, when we're talking about, okay, that Rick Barnes spoke to Mr. Haslam supposedly and said, I need a Nate Ament and I need $4 million, that's nothing.
You know what, Bino, when you put it like that, 1 million seconds is
12 days.
12 days, Bino, but 1 billion seconds is 13 years. Is that what you said?
No, 32.
32 years. Bino, if I had 32 years, I could mess around with you a lot. That's her point. I could just take my money, throw it around, be disruptive, have some fun. $16 million is nothing to those people. $50 million is nothing to those people.
So I think
that's a really good point you just brought up.
I think it's naive and it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
To me, that to think that this is going to change anytime soon with these big players. Because, think about it. I never knew that a Mark Cuban had a connection to Indiana.
Yep.
And we know that he is, helping, he may be the number one, I don't know, funding a lot of their NIL stuff and, just money. I don't even know if you can even say it's NIL stuff. Okay, and then you look at all these different schools. You look at Louisiana, at LSU.
Yes.
And, you got Wildman down there, Lane Kiffin. He's got about, from what I understand, about 4 billionaires that are, happy to give him money.
Yes, including the Raising Cane's guy.
Yeah, Raising Cane,
when you
the
eat the
chicken
Raising
guy.
Cane's chicken, you're supporting Lane Kiffin.
And then you've got also, there's a lot of oil money in Louisiana. And then, we found out, and we talked about it during some of your shows, that the Walmart family, they're shuttling their money to Missouri for some reason.
That's right.
Instead of Arkansas. Well, the Hunt family, the Hunt trucking family, they're still big providers of money for University of Arkansas. So my point is, you get 1 to 3 of these multi-billionaires. If you have 3 Mr. Haslams, let's say,
yep,
and they love that school, and they love to continue to support it, go to the games, and this, that, and the other, and have access, it's easy. It's easy.
So, Holly, to those guys, giving that money would be like me giving $100 out of my bank account or to my bank account, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's kind of how I think it is. I mean, this has really bugged me. And I was thinking about, over the last few years, I've given, I always say 50 cents. I give 50 cents to the, and I had it earmarked to the baseball team for UT. Well, the amount I gave was, just a regular amount for a Tennessee regular person. Well, that's exactly what those billionaires are doing. It's just that they live in a world that we can't even comprehend. And as long as they can do that, and they can, this isn't going to change unless somebody steps in. And that somebody, in my opinion, has to be the federal government because of the Sherman Antitrust Act. And they're not going to touch it right now. They don't want to be messing with that.
Well, the Supreme Court's already spoken. Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Holly. Let's do this one more time, just so I can get this, okay?
Okay.
1 million seconds.
It's 12 days.
Bino, when she puts it like that, Bino, what do you think about? 1 million seconds is 12 days. 1 billion seconds, Bino, is like 30 years or something.
32 years. It's just, and when I looked that up online and was looking at it, I thought that can't be right. And then I kept looking at it. I even wrote it down on a sticky note and put it at my desk.
And I
cannot stop thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like an admin. It's like I have 1 million seconds here. I can't waste my next million. My next 12 days I'm given. I cannot waste my next 1 million seconds.
Exactly.
It's a great way to illustrate the difference. But you asked me what I think, Tony.
Yeah.
Here's how my poor mind works. From now on, when anybody asks me how old I am, I'm going to tell them I'm a little over 2 billion seconds. And that sounds better to me than my actual age.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Well, I also read, just to help me, the common fan, and others think about this that aren't billionaires. I was reading an article about generational wealth and, how these people with all this billions of dollars, how they, set up their funds for next generations and then have someone blow them. There is a well-known billionaire that supposedly, he's a multi-billionaire, and he's an American, and he gives his daughter $1 million a month. And she can do with it whatever she wants. Now, that includes he wants her to invest, he wants her to do whatever. So she essentially gets paid $12 million a year from her father.
Wow.
Because of the way he's got it structured. And now she could blow $1 million, or she could, do whatever she wants. That's how much money, I guess I'm trying to say, this money is. And because of that, I don't see how it can slow down very fast. What's out there?
Holly, I think it's a great call. And
so I just wanted to put that in.
No, it's a great, thank you. It's certainly food for thought on this Monday. And Reminds me of a story my son was telling me. He's got friends. He got a friend at University of Pennsylvania. And look, when you're running in those circles, they're billionaires. Like, there's wealthy people you think you know, and then there's these people. Laura and I saw that when my son was playing golf at University of Pennsylvania. And one of them is a real estate guy, commercial real estate, and owns a decent portion of a northeastern city. I'm not going to say the city, but this guy's pretty wealthy guy. Billionaire. Told his kids when they were of age, hey, look, I'm not giving you my money. We're going to like donate it when we're gone or whatever it is, but you're not going to live on my money. So you're going to have to make your way in the world like I made my way in the world. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And I think it's kind of interesting. But Holly putting it in the seconds, Bino, because seconds are something we can all... Having that kind of money is something that none of us, most of us listening, can't comprehend. We just can't. But when you put it in something that we all have, which is, time, and you say, well, what was it again, Bri? 1 million seconds is what? How many days?
12. Like 12 days. And 1 billion seconds is 32 years.
32 years.
I've wasted 1 billion seconds talking Tennessee sports on the air. I've wasted my damn life doing this. Holly, thank you.
Makes you feel really small, doesn't it?
I'm going to go outside and play Russian roulette now in the snow. Thanks, Holly. That'll make a man feel really good about himself. Hey,
Tony,
1 billion seconds dedicated to the damn big orange. Nagel America. Good, Bino. Then we'll go back to the phones.
Tony, I told you that I've started, when I'm not on the show, I've started partaking of it on YouTube.
Yes.
And following the chat.
Yes.
And the other night,
yes,
when you had, I'm not sure whether it was a toboggan pulled backwards or exactly what you had, but when it looked like that you were wearing like a French beret of some sort, and that crew started dragging you and calling you Pepe Le Pew and saying bonjour, Tony, and asking if you could whip them up a batch of pastries. I basically missed most of the show.
I took
laughing.
I took some Advil because I was having like a low-grade fever kind of thing. I still don't feel right, but at one point I looked down at the chat thinking, man, we're having a really good Learn It show, and there was a string in there about how I'm going to make crepes for everybody and stuff like that. And I'm just going, and then Holly's call today has me thinking I've wasted 1 billion seconds. So it all ties together, Bino.
It's a wonderful world, Tony. I'm glad you're in it. Glad that to be a part of this craziness.
Back to our phones we go. What Holly's thing comes from me saying as I've said on the air here, I'm just a very honest person. I'm not sure if it's a good thing to say on a sports show, but I don't get what motivates people to want to enrich these young kids because they can play sports. I don't understand that. But they want to do it. And as long as they want to do it, this commission's not going to stop them from doing it because it's called a free and fair market. It's what our entire system's built on. It's just you're not going to be able to do it. It's a restraint of trade. And the NCAA can sit there and act like all they want. We're still in the bullshit. And Danny White can be afraid of them all he wants. He's afraid of the big bad wolf. He's afraid of the dare I say, he's afraid of the point guard at Florida. He's afraid of the bogeyman. Bogey Flan, the bogeyman. He's afraid of the dark. That's all it is. And for him to admit that out loud is stupid. Nobody else has the roles. We got roles. We're allegedly on probation from a governing body that no longer exists. What are they going to do? The last time they came in here in Strong-Arm, Tennessee, what did we do? We went right to an appellate court in Greenville, and what did the NCAA do? They got their ass shot down. Now, what am I missing? Well, can somebody please tell me what I'm missing? Back to the phones we go. Hi, you're on the air.
Morning, Tony. Mike in Portland.
Mike, I love your shirt. I'm rocking it today.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. That makes Monday better than normal Monday. Appreciate that. Hey, just what a great call by Holly. And
it put it all in perspective, didn't it? I mean, you're a big businessman. You travel a bunch. That does put it all in the perspective, doesn't it?
Amen. So even out here, Oregon State, just a couple of things. Oregon State has a guy named David Wang, who's a billionaire that owns NVIDIA, right? So you feel like there'd be a big feeder to Oregon State, which has no budget anymore.
Hang on a second. Did you say David Wang?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So he's a billionaire, but he and his wife both graduated from Oregon State. They're Beavers. And all they do is pump money into the academic side. They have nothing to do with athletics.
Hang on.
Don't do it, Tony. Do not do it.
What?
Don't do it.
So he won't pump up. So he won't. He will not pump up athletics, is what you're saying?
Right, exactly right. But anyway, my real question is how. I'll go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So how long is Sankey commissioner of the SEC? How does he serve?
I don't know. I don't know what his contract runs. Generally, they do those things. Lately, they kind of do them for life. Really.
Wow. I think he's not been a very good commissioner. Well, I don't know what you guys think about that deal. But is there any chance that you can have a coup or a whatever and get him out of there? Or what do you guys think about it?
Back to your thought, I think somebody needs to, like the Wangs have stood up to sports, and I think somebody needs to stand up to Sankey. Somebody needs to stand tall against Sankey. Stand up there and be steely and stand up. But I don't know who's going to.
Yeah, that's been bugging me for a long time on this deal, on the 9 games and the revenue sharing and all this other kind. I understand he had a big reputation, but he's been getting taken to the bank by the Big Ten guy. So anyway, sorry about the weather out there, guys. We're having the exact different effect out here. We're having the warmest winter we've ever had out here in Oregon.
Are you kidding me? You mean we're having this brutal winter here, and you guys in Oregon are not getting what we're getting?
Tony, there's no snow on the mountain. There's no snow on Mount Hood. Very little. You can't ski. Mount Hood's about 70 miles from me.
Yeah.
And year-round skiing, I have some accounts up there. And those guys lost $70,000 a day during the holidays because there was hardly any snow for any of the snow venues.
Wow.
There'll be no water. There's a lot of water for the.
What is going on? It's so strange.
My boys in Billings, Montana, have had like 5 days of snow, and this is in Billings, Montana, which is one of my territories.
Wow.
Billings, Montana. 5 days of snow.
And you know
That's crazy.
You know what's crazy too about that? When you watch those football games in Montana, Bri, because you and I have commented on this, even in November, It's snowing there, and they're playing in the snow, and they've only had 5 days, Bri. And here we are in February, Bri. 5 days of snow, Bri.
Well, they can gladly have. I'll gladly give them some of ours.
No question.
Well, I lived in Knoxville for a long time, like in '93 and back in those days. So I've been through that when I used to be. I used to have a Jeep just to get my employees to work, so I go pick them up. So I know what you guys are going through out there, but out here it's just this is a disaster. It's catastrophically warm weather in the history of the Pacific Northwest. So anyway, so the point is about.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
So the point is just about Sankey. I don't want to make it about the Pacific Northwest. This is a national show, but anyway, I just think he's doing us a disservice, and it'd be worth a conversation or to find out what his deal is to me. So,
thank you, my man. Good talking to you. Oh, he's well paid. I don't know how long his salary runs. It's just not my purview. I guess we could check that out. It seems like our commissioners. That's a spot that you pretty much get into your health fails, right? That's pretty much what we've done.
That's what it looks like, Tony. But if things keep going in the direction of the Big Ten, I'm not sure a lifetime contract would protect him.
And how frustrated would you be, Bino, at Oregon State if you're a Beaver fan and you knew? And
Tony, if this show isn't over, I can hear Laura's footsteps.
Well, if you knew that the Wangs were out there and couldn't save you, how frustrated would you be? That would make me mad. If those people, like Holly said, it'd be nothing for those people to peel off a few $1 million and let them compete.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously. That would frustrate me.
Tony, to his point, my brother-in-law lives in about 25 minutes from Bozeman in Montana. And he and Chino have wildlife cameras on their properties, and they can share the pictures. And he hollers at us Saturday and says, "Hey, you're getting a good snow there." We said, yes. He said, it's 50 degrees here. Bozeman. Right outside of Bozeman.
That just doesn't make any sense, man. That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, try this on for size. There are parts of Florida this morning that were colder than parts of Alaska.
Oh, I was watching On Patrol Live, and the cops in Daytona, they were talking about, like, it was in the 30s down there. Daytona, y'all. Like, I'm talking like high 20s, low 30s. But I can't get over what Alan just told us. Some would say I'm going to try and rise above it for the rest of the show. But somebody does need to stand tall and erect in the face of this Sankey guy. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Am I on?
You are on. Go right ahead.
Hey, it's Boy Billy from Harriman. What up, Bean Comet?
What is going on, Boy Billy?
How you doing, brother? Hey, man, Tone, I got to tell you, man, I've been having a blast watching you try to learn math today, bro. I'm guessing you weren't an engineering major over there at UT, huh?
I got a degree that Patricia the Dancing Bear from the Ed Sullivan Show could have gotten.
Hey, man, congrats, bro.
Yeah.
Degrees on the wall.
Yeah, Boy Billy, you had to get my degree to qualify to try to get Tony's.
Hey, man, I got enough for all of us, man. Hey, I just turned in before Holly's call, saw that all math homework problem she was doing and all. But I got out of 2 hours hot yoga today, man, so I missed all the 11 to 1 stuff, but I just, did I miss anything good, or were y'all just pitter-pattering around?
No, today's show really sucked.
All right. But hey, speaking of billionaires, I know,
Speaking of that Oregon State situation, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know what you're doing, man. You're trying to be coy, fourth grade humor. You know, we all get it, man. But I was trying to say, she's talking about Haslam and all the billionaires, man. I'm an NBA guy first. I know my hoops, I know ball. Man, Haslam, he's trying to ruin these Bucks, man. I mean, he's trying to trade Giannis, and it just reminds me of my old college track coach, rest in peace, Roger Kerr. The first thing he ever told me when he found out I was from Knoxville, he said, "You know Jimmy Haslam?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know him, but I heard of him." And he said, "Nobody in the world can make chicken shit out of chicken salad quicker than Jimmy Haslam."
I'll tell you what,
man.
That's the truth. Jimmy Haslam is a total sports disaster. You know, I forgot that he owns the Bucks now. And the Giannis thing, Giannis wants out of there so badly he can taste it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's just wild, bro, man. I don't know what he's done. You got one of the best players ever, maybe, bro. You talking about shipping him out for, probably next to nothing. So that's his trademark, bro.
My Sixers, there's a big debate in Sixer Nation. Do you part with VJ Edgecombe in a package for him, along with Paul George and a couple picks? Because now the Sixers have a chance. This is what it does. You take a franchise like the Sixers, and all of a sudden, with Maxey, and if Embiid can stay healthy, you open a window to go win a championship if you can add him. Guys like him, Brian, don't come available in the NBA very often, do they?
No, but he's also had some injury issues himself.
Yes.
And that might concern some.
I wouldn't part with a VJ Edgecombe for him, Bino, or Brian, would you? If I were the Sixers?
If he could stay healthy, I might. If I could guarantee that he'd stay healthy, I might do it.
Yeah. Bet you, Boy Billy, you being a ball knower, would you do it?
Y'all got no chance to get Giannis. Y'all ain't got the goods, man.
No? Where's he going to go?
Well, the odds went crazy high for Chicago yesterday and all the betting apps. But, my gut tells me they can't get it done till summer. Just reading between the lines, I don't think they got enough with the injury, the Achilles, the calf stuff. They can't get that done before, July 4th weekend, I don't think. I think he's stuck there till at least then.
How big's the package? How big's the package when he goes?
Hey, man, it's bigger than whatever Wayne's donating to Oregon State, I'll tell you that right now.
We're back to Oregon State. Boy, Billy, now you're taking part in fourth grade humor.
Hey, man, some of us got to reach back to it, man. Hey, before it's my work season, bro. I got to gather. You can't keep me all day. But, hey, I just want to let you know, man, I went ahead and doubled up, man. I'm sitting on 4 tickets to that LSU Ole Miss game, bro.
LSU? Oh, really?
Got me 4 of them. Went down to Oxford, man. I'm going down there. I'm going to be reporting live. I'm going to be doing street interviews. I'm going early, staying late, going to the bar. I'm building a whole apparatus around this trip, man. I'm going for it.
Boy, Billy, you're the man. Thank you, brother.
You know it.
Somebody said that Boy Billy sounds like a younger Freddie Jack. I agree with that. I think Betty Yucko over here on YouTube speaks for a lot of it when he says, "Great show, I'll wang up and listen." But, are there some stooges on the YouTube thing or no?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, some real commodians.
Yeah. Really, really entertaining. Really.
I forgot the Haslams had the Bucks now. And they're a total mess. He bought them after they won their world championship. Bri, does he own the whole thing? Part of it? What percentage does Haslam have of the Bucks?
I don't really know.
I don't either.
It seems like he did. I don't think he owns all of it, but I don't know for sure. I like how these owners own different franchises in different cities, of like rival cities.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's always kind of a good fun dynamic to me.
Like Josh Harris owns the Sixers, and the Sixers are the 9th most profitable
and
franchise
too,
in
right?
American sport. He owns the Devils, and he owns the Washington Commando. He owns Commando.
like rival cities that hate each other, sports wise.
Bino, what are the chances me or one of our callers references Mike in Portland's call again at some point before the end of this show? I'm not asking you to predict the weather here. I'm just kind of asking you to predict human behavior.
Oh, it's 100%. We stay on 7 more minutes.
The Haslams are really, Jimmy Haslam particularly, who we call Jimmy Coaching Shorts, because he walks around their facility with those damn coaching shorts on. He looks like a damn fool. A damn fool is what he looks like. But who's going to tell a guy that's that wealthy they're a damn fool? I'm the only person in Knoxville that does what I do that will say anything about the guy, if you've ever noticed that. There is a fear factor with him. People asked me when I started criticizing him, they were like, aren't you afraid of what? What am I, like, making fun of, like, Angelo Bruno or something? Media people, aren't you afraid of what? I mean, the guy's bad at sports, and he wants to control everything. That's what they do in Knoxville. He wants to control everything. They've done a lot of great things for our area. Don't get me wrong. But the guy's really, really, really bad at sports. I mean, the Cleveland Browns, they're on an all-time, again, who else is going to say this stuff besides, they're on an all-time heater. Now, Bronny Boy sent me this the other day, and I've saved it for a blog because I'm going to blog on it. I'm going to blog on Bajakian, ending up there, and just how funny it all is. Jimmy Haslam took over the Browns in 2012. 2 years ago, I remember distinctly hanging out with the great George Plaster in Nashville. We were at a sports bar prior to seeing a Preds hockey game, and we were sitting there watching that young Cleveland team. But they had the old quarterback. Who was the old quarterback, Bri, they had at the time? Was that Flacco?
Deshaun Watson or Flacco?
No, it wasn't Watson.
Well, it was, I think,
but
Flacco.
They got beat by somebody in the playoff. But they had that great young defense. And then they went out that offseason and they panicked. And they made that crazy trade. And that crazy trade was a Jimmy Haslam special. He tried to pin it on some other people, but up there in Cleveland, they figured it out. I was looking in their subreddit there, the Brown subreddit. I'm going to tell you a fan base that goes hard. That's a Cleveland Brown fan base. You listen to one of their post-game shows, they go hard now. Because Haslam here is never criticized. Everybody's afraid of him. Up there, they chant FBI. I mean, they go hard up there. Hard. And he screwed it all up because he has to meddle. Bino, who was going to give a king's ransom for Deshaun Watson besides them? All those draft picks, all that guaranteed money, all that dead cap space. Took a promising young team that was getting ready to get into the playoffs and win a bunch of games. With a good young coach who's going to win in Atlanta. That guy is going to win in Atlanta. You watch. Who would do that? But Jimmy Haslam. Literally, Mike Detillier, the last time he was on, said he's the worst owner in the NFL. He said he's holding Jerry Jones's beer, basically, is what he said. Now, nobody around here is going to say that. I will, because I don't care. I've never cared. I don't care. It is what it is. Can you imagine spending all that money for a guy who had 24 women accuse him of that, Bino? Think about that for a second. Think about that.
No. Not a wise investment.
Not wise. And their fan base was so pissed off the day they did it. I'm reading their boards. They're like, it was like us during Shiano Sunday. Who was at the center of the Shiano Sunday hire, do you think? Go ahead. Go ahead. Who was wanting to push? Who was one of the people pushing that through? Go ahead. Wait for it. But you said no. You had your own tea party. The Cleveland people couldn't do it. Just an awful owner. Awful at sports. Awful. Awful. Guy needs to take up fishing, get some music lessons. He took over that organization in 2012. They're 81-144-1 in a league where you can go like this, up and down. Briney Boys Jaguars have been to a championship game since then and made a playoff run this year. Right, Bri? You went from worst to first to worst. You did it a couple times during that time span.
Well,
my Eagles.
They went one and done, but yeah, they made the playoffs after going 4-13.
Yeah, and my Eagles have been to the, but you went to the AFC championship game that one year?
That was 2017,
yeah?
2018.
Okay. Well, it's after when he brought the team in 2012. They haven't gotten a sniff at it. Bino, you guys have won in that time span. You guys have won a ton of games. 81-144. They have 2 winning seasons. There are 4 teams in their division. They've never won the division. It's not that hard. A division? Ewad's Bengals have won several divisions, and they're a joke. They're a joke. Marvin Lewis won divisions. Not to mention Lamb Weirdo's Steelers. Who's the other team in their division, Brian? Why is that escaping
Baltimore's won divisions.
And Baltimore.
They've had
Baltimore.
So if you're Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or Cincinnati, all you have to do is just beat out 2 other teams, and you're good.
That's it.
You're in the playoffs every year.
Because the Browns aren't winning a division. They have finished 4th in their division. No offense to Jimmy Haslam. I'm not trying to rip the guy. They finished 4th in their division 9 out of 14 years. 4th out of a 14 division, 9 out of 14 years. The C says K, and the word is suck. The worst owner in sports. By far. And I didn't do it. His coaches there are all-time. Rob Chudzinski was so good. That was their first choice. He's literally an offensive analyst now for Boston College. You know what that means? That means he's fetching coffee for whoever. Brian, who's even the head coach at Boston College these days?
It was
go ahead.
I think it was the guy who was the head coach of the Texans. And
he's fetching coffee for him. He's fetching coffee. Moving along. Mike Pettin, Bino. Pittine. Do you remember that loser, Bino?
Mike Pettin.
Could you pick him out literally of a police lineup, Bino, if I was to call you in?
I could not. I couldn't tell you what his role was here.
He's now a linebackers coach for the Vikings. How did Haslam's name come up? Well, they hired Mike Bajakian out of the college ranks for one of the more important jobs in the NFL, which is a quarterback's coach. I'm gonna spell this out for you, and I'm not trying to be funny. They have 0 chance with this coach I just hired. He has. With that idiot lording over him, he's got zero chance. I mean, the guy's an idiot. He's a sports idiot. But he's not an idiot. He's obviously a bright man. He just doesn't know how to do sports. Hugh Jackson went 11-44-1. He was the one, in case you're wondering where the one tie was. Brian Hartman, Hugh Jackson is currently a college coach at Georgia, in the state of Georgia. Would you care to guess what university he coaches for? A hint. It ties into Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, Georgia State.
Yeah, he's the offensive coordinator there. So he's a high level. Well, you laugh. I mean, he's a high level guy. The next on the mic is the man who, when he played at Alabama, had to have a specially fit helmet. Literally, kids, if you grew up when I grew up, Sugar Daddy used to have, and I see these cards every once in a while, they're pretty valuable. But they would have the player, and then they would have a big head. Like I remember Rosie Greer, Alan Page had a big head. John Brockington had a big head from Green Bay. Do you remember those cards, Bino, and Sugar Daddies? Do you remember those cards they had, the football cards?
I don't remember Sugar Daddy football cards.
Freddie Kitchens' head looks like one of those.
Oh, okay.
How big is Freddie? When Freddie Kitchens played at Alabama, we used to talk about how it looked like they took his helmet and pumped it up. It was so big. He was 6'10" there.
His head was so big, it looked like he was wearing one of those helmets like Brian has on his television.
Yes.
Around his television.
Yes.
Mini helmets.
Yes. He had what we called in my neighborhood a head. And then finally, Kevin Stefanski was a very good young coach there. Kevin Stefanski did the impossible. He went 45-56 there. The Falcons hired him within a week. Within a week. It was like days. He wasn't going to last. Bina, we being too hard? Am I being too hard? Not we. Am I being too hard on Haslam? He's a pretty good owner, right?
No, he's not a pretty good owner, Tony, but I don't think he deserved 1 million seconds.
Brian, how many seconds is 1 million seconds? How many minutes, Brian? 13 hours, did she say?
Well, they said 12 days is a million seconds is 12 days.
No, that's not what she said. She said it was 12 years. 1 billion seconds is 12 years.
1 billion seconds is 32 years, I thought she said.
1 million seconds is 12 days, Tony. 1 billion seconds is 32 years.
Bina, are you saying I droned on? I've already forgotten, Holly, I've already forgotten your quadratic equation of converting.
Somewhere in the middle of that, Tony, you said you didn't mean to rip the guy. If you didn't, I'd hate for you to go all in on somebody.
Somebody just said, did you say Stefanski? I mean, today's show ought to be ashamed of itself.
It is.
I mean, Hypel's Razor said, get Holly back on here so we can get this thing ironed out. Tony's really confused. That there's somebody called Hypel's Razor. And there's a poster in here called Betty Yucko now. What were they chanting at the Betty Yucko kid? The Florida kids?
G-League dropout.
Dropout. That's such an incredible line. Bino, what percentage of college athletes today do you think are getting degrees with all this moving around?
Oh,
in the 20s, maybe.
Yeah,
can't be
that would
high,
be my
right?
guess.
30s?
I wouldn't think it would be 30. I wouldn't think it would reach 30%.
I wonder what percentage of them will still have money from their playing days when they're in their 30s. Even the ones that are getting really paid. I bet you we'll see a documentary on it within 15 years on how quickly some of these people went through this money. But back to where we were, and that's that I'm going to tell you something. Nate Ament's getting ready to explode in the second half of the year. He's getting ready to blow up. I see a guy, he's averaging over 20 his last 6 games. He's getting ready to literally come into his own. Right before our very eyes. Barnes is going to be right about him. And I got to tell you something. I thought Barnesy looked kind of foolish for the first bit of that. When he kept saying, hey, this is going to be my guy. Nate Ament is going to be a hell of a player.
I thought you made a great point in your blog today too. I mean, Nate's obviously going to move on right to the NBA from here, but Brown and Amari Evans are nice finds too, and those are the kind of guys that might keep you around for a couple of more years when you're Barnes' age.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I think
to show you how this team's maddening, like I was talking about earlier, Tony.
Yep.
There, at one point in that game, Brown fails to secure 2 big rebounds, and in the middle of it, throws one of the worst passes I have ever seen. And I'm hollering, get his ass out of there. And no sooner does it leave my mouth, he grabs a rebound on one end, goes down, makes the biggest shot of the game, hits free throw, comes back down and gets another rebound. And I'm thinking, this is the reason that you're not coaching. Shut the hell up and watch the game.
Amen to that. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. I'd say amen to that, Bino. You are a dumbass. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tony, how big of a sugar daddy card would they have to do to fit your profile on it?
Are you talking about my midsection or my head?
Well, I'm talking.
Well,
I'm not talking about your midsection. That would be sugar babies.
Oh boy, you threw that BP fastball in there.
Freddie Jack, with your sophomoric humor, have you enjoyed this detour that the show took? And did you know when you heard the term Wang and Beaver said together that's what was going to happen?
Who sung that song we're all going to Wang Chung tonight?
How hard were you laughing, Freddie Jack?
Who sung that song, Tony?
That would have been Wang Chung.
Wang Chung?
Yes.
If anybody that likes that gets on me about liking New Country, they have zero credibility because that stuff is awful. That song is awful, like beyond awful.
That was a big hit back in the day, wasn't it, Tony? Was that a disco
it's
or
still
what?
awful.
I walked 1,000 miles just to be with you tonight. It's a great song. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Oh my gosh. I've never laughed so hard.
One thing I remember about Cleveland, Tony, And the only thing I really remember
did you
my childhood.
Really? I didn't know that.
You know the man, the legend, the myth from Cleveland, the forerunner of sports talk.
Oh, Pete Franklin.
The great Pete Franklin.
Yep.
Amen.
Yeah, I listened to him many nights, and then I would listen to Cleveland Cavs basketball.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Joe Tate.
Yeah.
3WE, brother. 3WE.
Yeah. That's some great times, Tony. I miss the old radio. You know, kind of, that's all we had, pretty much.
Back in the day, now you turn a radio on late at night, is these really awful syndicated shows are just in every station. There's no more local flavor like there once was. 3WE, man, when they had on Pete Franklin late at night, God, it was so fun. So fun.
Yeah. Never be forgotten like by the living listener.
No, and you had to move the AM radio around. You get interference some nights, and you had to work for it back then.
Oh yeah, that's like listening to your show, Tony. You know, Holly talking about comparing the millionaires to the billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to 1 billion seconds of your show. I mean, 32 years.
Yep.
I'm like the commercial about a mind is a terrible thing to waste. What do you think that's done to my mind, Tony?
Well, I can tell in your phone calls. The word is deterioration where I come from.
Well, if they did a scan of my brain, I wonder what it would look like.
Probably have a big nose in it by this point. Probably something about Horseshack, because you've snuck more like Cotter references in on me and Horseshack and Bino. I don't like that at all. Do you? You know what, Freddie? In my junking, I came across a Welcome Back Cotter lunchbox the other day, and I was thinking about getting it and putting in the studio here in your honor. Not funny. Not funny.
Yeah.
And then that one day when we had who was it? We had Jordan Howland here, and you asked him what the sound was when you took your fingers and ran it down the blackboard, and he said, "I have no idea what you're talking about," and you screamed screech at him.
Oh, Tony. We've had a lot of fun over 32 years.
No doubt about it.
You know, I like Holly as a caller. I mean, I do call her wordy Holly because she is kind of wordy, but she has this kind of...
What the hell are you?
She has this sweet Southern Belle voice. She has this sweet Southern Belle voice.
You sound like you're like the encyclopedia letter A. What are you
talking about?
Well,
I call in about every 6 months. And when I do call in, I can't hardly get in sometimes. Yeah, I knew you were going to cut the show off. You did it to me last week.
Cut what show off? I didn't cut the show off.
I mean, you cut it off for the day. You know, you end the day, and I was on hold. I knew I was a...
You're on here right now?
Last week, not today.
We're ready to have overtime to the overtime in here, dude. What are you talking about?
Anyway, I like your show when you have a lot of laughs, Tommy. Not when you're...
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah.
You know, I think you got... One thing I do think you have wrong about is Brian Rice.
Oh, he's a great play-by-play guy.
When you said about you ditch digging, I think he's using it as a metaphor. He's using it the way you like to run things into the ground.
Huh?
Because I remember a few weeks ago you were still talking about they should have got more receivers last year. You just keep talking about that in the transfer portal. You know how you like to run things around. Rick Barnes transfers.
Do you like how Freddie Jack
Cleveland, the Haslams?
Do you like how Freddie Jack all this?
I love you anyway.
Do you like how he turned it into a total cheap shot, Bino, at the end? Freddie, I'm glad you called in today because I can say you're out of here to you. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Lynn. I'm not going to have any Eddie Haskell humor.
Okay.
What I wanted to finish up with was
what are we doing?
The basketball game the other night.
All right, hang on. It's W. Lynn and who? We're gonna have a double team phone call here because we can't just do one call. Joshy boy, you're on with W. Lynn. Go ahead, W. Lynn.
I was going to say that
I was telling everybody after the Louisville game, which was mid-December, I saw 10 players that all made contributions. So I said, this whole season is going to be like an experiment, and hopefully we'll grow into a team by mid-February and March.
Joshy boy, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's right about that.
That's it? You just think he's right about that?
And I still have a little bit of my doubts about this team going forward, kind of.
Bino, your thoughts on Joshy boy's thoughts on W. Lynn's thoughts?
I'm out of thoughts.
Bino,
Bino's hit the 3-hour limit.
It's probably time to wrap it up.
Bino, this team, Bino.
Bino's into the overtime quitting time.
Well, I wanted to get both of you in here. W. Lynn,
Tony?
Yes.
I got one more thing. I took an old-fashioned calculator and did all that mathematics that Holly was saying, and it's true. It's 12 days equals 1 million, and 32 years equals 1 billion.
1 billion wasted seconds.
And Bino and I have been following the Big Orange for about 2 billion seconds.
Thank you, W. Lynn. Joshy boy, you're on the air. Hit it.
Thanks. Yeah, so, Tony, what do you
And by the way, Joshy boy, you're our Dos Equis caller of the show. You went for Dos today. Cervezas Mexicanas 2026 White Plains, New York. And Joshy boy will be accepting a case of Dos Equis on your behalf. Go ahead, Joshy boy.
Tony, does that mean if we get the 12 or 13 SEC league wins, does that mean Negative owes you guys double lunch?
I don't want to eat with Negative the first time around. I hope he doesn't owe me double lunch. Bino, are we doing the Negative lunch? What are we doing for that? How are we begging off that? I don't think he's listening right now. How are we going to beg off that, Bino?
Well, I mean, Tony, you could just forgive the man his debt.
That's a good idea. See that, Joshy boy? You like it?
Yeah, I do. The Lady Vols, they weren't actually 29.5-point underdogs. They were 26.5 points.
Oh, they covered?
Yeah, I looked it up. It was 26.5.
Actually, I had a buddy that got it at 30.5 and won by 0.5 point.
Wow, really, Bino?
Wow.
And I sent him 1-800.
Is that true, Bino?
Yes.
Josh, it went off at 29.5 over at VIP Play, yes.
Okay.
I sent him 1-800-JUS quit.
Oh, wow.
He won by half a point.
Half a point. Tony, is that true what you read the other night on the post-game show? Does Bart Torvik have us as our last 5 seed, you said the other night?
4 seed, right? 4 seed, wasn't it?
4 seed?
Yeah.
Oh. If this team continues to play really good down the stretch, you know Barnes teams are accustomed to playing usually. They could get a 4 seed, and that is very, very doable. I would take that over a 6 seed any day and twice on Sunday. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Joshy boy. Yeah, 11s beat 6s frequently, I think, in the tourney. You'd much rather be a 4 seed. Bino, thoughts on today's show? Because it seems like that was pretty illiterate today. Thoughts on today?
Yeah, Tony, I'm glad you were here because I don't believe there's any way that Brian and I could have combined on that type of illiteracy. Just he and I. But you and I, we're perfectly capable.
And then Bryce, somewhere in the middle of that, came on with some screed about people who hate bro country.
just out of the middle of that. Brian stood
tall.
Don't
ever tell me if you like that kind of crap, that Wang Chung crap. Don't ever get on me for New Country, okay? Because you have no credibility.
Brian's standing tall against the critics.
There's some bad stuff came out of the 80s, just like bad stuff comes out now.
What moon are we in right now? Somebody just asked on. I got to look this up.
That's just an awful song.
Hang on, Brian. My gosh.
Terrible.
Good gosh,
terrible,
Bino.
terrible,
What'd you do
terrible.
to him? Bino, what'd you do to him? What moon are we in right now? All right, hang on. The moon we're in is a waning gibbous following a full snow moon that peaked February 1st. So, yeah, we're still in the middle of... There's a pretty big moon out there tonight. Illumination is 99%. Next major phase, last quarter, will be Feb 9. Previous major phase, full moon, February 1st. So, Bino, do you notice that your moods follow the moon and the tides?
I do not, Tony, but I thought surely you were going to say wanging Phibius from where we've been today.
Well, and I thought you were going to tie a full... Listen, so many...
Guys, I got to jump.
So, yeah, it was a full moon. It was a full moon last night. Yeah, and Punxsutawney Phil's going to see a shadow pretty soon. Thank goodness for Chef Boyardee. This winter, I've had about enough winters I can take. That's it.
Amen. I'm with you.
So, prayers up for our friends in the mid-state. Hope everybody gets back and gets back to being restored soon. And everybody, I love you. Everyone, I love you. Brian, how about Brian in the middle of that Bino just snapping?
I'm sure he's not the only one that we drove right to the brink today.
That bro country, no offense to Brian, that is some awful shit. No offense. Love your show. Appreciate you. Peace. G to the B to the O. And thank you to Brother Bino. We love you. Appreciate you. And if you missed today's program, when you describe this show to somebody, say, hey, you know, I'll give these guys a listen, and it's kind of not what you think. And then they tuned in today, and they call you back, and they go, that's like, I don't know, 3 hours of my show I won't get back, and it's, how many seconds is it? They pulled Lynn's calculator out. Tell you it was like 500,000 seconds or something, or 250,000 seconds, or... Love you. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Seems like the Barry Trotz era is no more. Bino is really fired up. Folks are prepared for that. He's been a lifelong Preds fan since their inception. And Bino, Jeff, Bry, and the world, welcome in. Tony Basilio at your service. Pretty pumped to be with you today. Pretty excited to make your acquaintance, fired up, focused, and prepared. Let's bring it. Let's bring it today. Hey, listen, I come with a spirit today of appreciation. A spirit of appreciation for this place. A spirit of appreciation for this lovely fan base. A spirit of appreciation for the basketball team over the weekend, who represented us well. A spirit of appreciation for Stephen Pearl. A spirit of appreciation for getting a chance to do the Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction, Tennessee basketball overtime after that game the other day. A spirit of appreciation for Will Heflin, who's going to jump in here and do a post game after Tennessee's first game when they play that tournament. Brian, when is that tournament? Happy Monday to you, Brian.
You mean the first game of the season or the first game of the
tournament?
That deal they're going to in
Texas. Yeah, tournament in Texas, not the Crip games.
I think it's the second weekend. It's the weekend after Valentine's Day, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's the second weekend of the season.
Yeah. Spirit of appreciation for everybody involved. I just my heart is full today. I absolutely loved out loud the game.